Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Not cool. I almost said banging beers. Not cool in high school. Episode 101. Our main topic tonight is going to be the history of the late and great Betty White. So we're going to talk everything about her career. Obviously, we're probably going to mess some stuff up, but a lot not mess things up, but miss a lot because obviously she's done so much. If there's stuff that you really interested you about her, please say them in the chat below. Live chat is going to be open for some interaction and some fun for you guys to hang out and talk to us. Yeah, and also for her 100th birthday was I believe yesterday. One of the things that there was an internet challenge was to support your local animal shelter or animal rescue. So in the links below is the Hillside SPCA donation tab. We did all the work for you. All you have to do is click the link and it'll take you straight to it. Even though it is past her birthday, it's never a bad time to donate and help out the animals. So if you can do that, that would be fantastic. If you are watching, please hit that share button. Let people know you're watching. Just to kind of give you a heads up at the power of a share button. My last interview I just did for Interviews Everyday People, just the season premiere of season 4, I interviewed Bobby Mushron. That was shared 42 times and it's up to almost 850 plays. So it helps. It costs you nothing, and now 850 people have now seen our page, and it helps us tremendously. So that's super cool. It takes 1 second. So we also, speaking of thanking, as I play everything in the background, we want to thank our Patreon members. So we have a Patreon. It goes from $1 to $25, or you can set your own price in the middle. We are having a giveaway every month. If you donate it if you support for more than $10 that month, you are in the running to win a free T-shirt. And we'll message you. You tell us what shirt you want, what brand, what color, the whole nine, and it'll be sent to you. We also have anyone who subscribes for any tier from now to the end of February. We are doing a giveaway for the Bangin' Beers podcast Yeti can koozie, 16-ounce can koozie. It's beneficial. we discussed it on Banging Beers.
It's a holster. That's its name.
And
it's a koozie.
It's a koozie. No, anyway, but yeah, and we will be filling it with full of stickers and all that fun stuff.
How did you ever learn it was a coaster? Like,
I know my Yeti.
Coaster?
Colster.
A colster.
I'll show you
like a cold holder.
Real quick, thank you to Nikolai and Colleen for supporting and giving some hearts on Facebook. But let's get to our Patreon subscribers. Another thing too, you're going to hear some names on the Patreon list that are members of our podcast team. Full disclosure, you are not eligible if you're part of this team for any giveaways or winnings. We are very, very sorry to Andrew Hare, Heidi Blackwell, and Kelly. But we want to thank. Now, if we mess up your names, I do apologize. I'm terrible.
Better not mess up my name.
Heidi Arthur. No, it's okay.
I'll stab you.
Bridget, Nina. What did you say it was?
Neiman.
Let me see.
Neiman.
I forget.
Richer.
Neiman Reicher.
Reicher. Bridget Neiman Reicher. Andrew Hare. Greg Reese. Heidi Blackwell. Ryan Galato from Fueled by Hops podcast. Kelly from Crystal Mountain Healing.
How cool would that be?
Tommy Borsrath. Tree of Life Metaphysical Shop. Brad Zalonis, Hireth in other words, and Jay Horror. So we went from like 3 people to 11. That's super cool. Thank you all so much for that. It helps us pay the bills. We have things like StreamYard and Adobe Premiere that we use that helps us out a lot. Andy is...
Yeah, right.
All right, what do we got?
This is the 12-ounce version. Notice it says Colster Slim Can. Doesn't say koozie anywhere in there.
You win.
What's the description? Like, does the description say why?
Hold on, we have a debate going real quick.
Also, is Jay Horror? What's his last name?
Horror.
Like Dice says.
Horror.
Yes.
Like horror movies.
Kinda, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'll read the description, and that fucking word ain't in it.
All right.
Because
maybe Yeti has their own term for their own branding.
It's their own branding.
Yeah,
but it's
not a koozie.
It's literally as if you took a koozie and you had a Mercedes-Benz version of it.
Which is a soft ass.
It's like a cold holster.
Well, if you were the Mercedes-Benz guy, if you were a Mercedes-Benz with something we appreciative of someone saying, "Look at the Ford Tempo."
Yeah, you're right.
Ford Tempos.
You know, I will submit to you on this one.
It's not a koozie.
It's a colster.
That's right.
It's a colster.
This one, so our new 16-ounce.
Do I just call Yeti products that? Like that?
Yeah.
You
specific Yeti product is a
yes,
colster.
it is a Yeti, but it's a 16-ounce Yeti holster.
Ideal for keeping hard seltzers. Well, that's this one. Ideal for keeping ice cold while hanging out on the hottest days. Double wall vacuum insulated and no sweat design keeps your hands dry. And the updated lock and load gasket only requires an easy quarter turn to score your drink in play.
All right, well there you
Whoever
go.
writes those just
Cold
throws those-
holster. I bet you that's where they got it.
Yeah.
All right, well let's
Whoever writes those descriptions.
let's
man.
get off this because
Betty White.
we've lost everybody. Well, we're gonna go
Except Yeti. What if they sponsor?
Except people who love
Right.
Yeti.
Yeti. If you want to sponsor us, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into our news before we do our topic. So if it's your first time watching, we go through pop culture news, then we get into our topic, and we're going to switch things up a little bit. Instead of things that we're into and we're watching and playing, we're going to hold that off to the end when we do our plugs, and then we'll tell you a brief summary of what we're into right now as a recommendation for you to check out. So the big news here today just literally broke today. If you're a video game person, this is huge for you, especially, I mean, there's little video game news on two sides, but the big one here is Xbox has bought
Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft Xbox has bought more titles. They have bought Activision
And
Blizzard.
Which were together, right?
Kinda. They're all under the same umbrella.
I believe Blizzard bought Activision, or maybe the other way around. I forget which
One of the two, yeah. But but they kept the same. They kept separate, but they're all under the same umbrella.
Yes.
So buying one, you get the others. And there's a lot of studios that are involved in this.
But they bought it for I think $78.5 billion.
Yes.
Billion
Wow.
dollars.
78,
much
about
money.
68.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine having
68.
that much
Oh
money?
yeah, it was 68. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did they
Imagine
do with
just,
all that?
just imagine
That's what I
1
wanna
billion.
know.
Okay, that's what 999,999 million, right? Something like that. I can't do math.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had $1 million, how your life would change. Now imagine times 900.
Well, they
Yeah.
say 1 million is no longer like enough to retire.
Well,
on
no,
either,
but,
no.
but it would change your life.
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could buy a house. I mean, not being extravagant.
Yeah.
Even I feel like you could still in this area you
In
could
this-
buy
oh,
an
yeah,
extravagant
yeah,
house.
but I
and
mean,
still
like-
have lots of money left.
That is so much money. That's almost unfathomable, the amount of money.
Well, to
Can
kind
you
of break
imagine
it.
being in charge of that? Like
Yeah.
that's the
And it's
person who's
not-
like, we've got this money. Let's buy these.
And it's not credit. They paid, well, not cash, physical cash,
Yeah.
but like they wrote a check to say, here you go.
Yep, that's yours.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah. So essentially what they bought here with their 68 million is Activision Publishing, Blizzard Entertainment, Beanox, Demonware, Digital Legends, High Moon Studios, Infinity War, King, Major League Gaming, Radical Entertainment, Raven Software, Sledgehammer Games, Toys for Bob, Treyarch, and every other team across the Blizzard and Activision.
Anybody that Blizzard or Activision.
So you have to think of it this way. So imagine, and all these studios, they're not like in one building. Like
No,
these
they're
buildings
all-
are scattered all over the world, all over the country. So Activision isn't just like, hey, this is Activision. They have Activision North, Activision South. There's more than one Activision
Yeah.
building that employs hundreds of people who make games. So this is not just like, hey, we're going to buy this podcast of 4 people.
Now we're going
like-
to buy Tom's Pizzeria.
Yeah, they're buying 14 major studios that have multiple studios that are inside those studios of people who make. So I think when people think like they're buying Activision, Activision makes a shit ton of games that have a bunch of different teams working on different games.
And
So
they're
like,
one of the ones that have been around for a while, at least
Yes.
since when I was playing. Like I don't know if it was PlayStation.
believe-
That was one of them that I could remember.
Mm.
Activision would come up before the game would start.
When
Yeah.
back in the day, did they like buy LGN and somebody else and they combined it and for the logo?
know.
I know they've been
Yeah.
around since the 90s.
I
yeah,
couldn't imagine being like just thinking about like the things that happen like corporate wise.
Yeah,
like
that's
when
why-
you buy a
Yeah.
company out,
They
like
said it won't take effect till
insane to me.
2023 because it takes all the legal
like
stuff.
that's so many because like my last place I worked, somebody like another company bought us. Like there's always so many changes, whether like regardless.
oh, there's
what
going to be
it
a lot
is,
of
like,
changes.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
I mean all those workers, like
Mhm.
someone has to keep track of all of that out and
Yeah.
then change everything.
Yeah, and
like,
then someone has to be in charge of all that. Imagine taking on all that. Like
Mhm.
it's a lot of
So
business.
essentially,
Insane.
where I think this became a home run for Xbox is because Activision and Blizzard have been having some huge internal problems
yeah.
with sexual assault claims,
Mhm.
harassment
Yeah,
claims.
the CEO, that Bobby Kotick, which everyone's saying that they can't fire him right now because they don't technically have him under employ.
Yeah, and
Until
he's like
it's
a shareholder. Like there's a lot of
And then they
legal
said
red
once
tape.
it gets finished, he's probably gone.
Yes. So a lot of things that are happening now where people are like, I can't believe Microsoft bought this and they're keeping all these people in charge. They're only in charge until this deal is finalized.
right.
And then
Yeah.
once it's a Microsoft product, they're gonna fucking clean house.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a while
can't
for
really-
it, and
yeah.
then they
They can't come and say you're fired and you're fired and you're fired.
Right.
Yeah.
because they have to
not
do
like
all
on
these
TV. Yeah.
transitions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So essentially what we're getting here, imagine buyout of not Blizzard, fucking the last buyout they had where they got Bethesda.
Bethesda.
ZeniMax. Yeah.
ZeniMax, thank you. That's the word I was looking for, ZeniMax. This deal happened just like this one, where they agreed that this was going to happen, but they didn't say a word until it was in that final stage of window when the paper was signed and everything was done and it went through all the court red tape. That's essentially what we're getting now. So this is going to take a year or two, maybe a year and a half to get all done. But they're letting the people know now that you're like, I think the reason they're doing it this way is because a lot of people are really hesitant on buying some of these titles because they don't want to support these companies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think right now they're like, okay, right now this is the way it's going to be, and then eventually these are going to be all Xbox, and it generates buzz, which is exciting. And we'll go through some of the major titles they have here. I'm not going to go through them all.
I'll start. Call of Duty. That's the big one.
Activision.
World of Warcraft.
Activision will be Call of Duty, which has been the top 2 selling games the past 2 years. Number 1 and number 2 were both Call of Duty titles for last year and this year. Big pickups.
And how many of them have there been now? Like
there's usually
15,
one every year.
Probably.
So what they used to do is they have Activision, then they have Treyarch. So in 1 year, Activision makes the game, and then while Activision's releasing their game, Treyarch makes their version. So usually Treyarch does if I'm not mistaken, Anthony, you can correct me. Treyarch does the retro ones where it's like World War II, World War I, older style games, where the other one does I might have it flipped, and the other one does more modern style games. So like there's a Modern Warfare and there's like World War II, and they switch every year.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I think you're right, but I cannot 100% confirm that.
Yeah. But so, and this helps. I think one of the big things you're going to see with this is, especially now that they have this Vanguard and this battle royale style, where they realize most people play anyway, and most people play the multiplayer and not really the story. You don't need to shove a $60 game down people's throat every single year and just kind of reskin old stuff.
You don't need to, but I like when you change things up to different engines and stuff. Like if they have that Warzone, which is their online multiplayer or whatever battle royale style game, they can keep that going, and then they can still do like storyline ones and stuff with different multiplayer. I mean, it's kind of the same, but like let's say they change the controls or something.
Yeah,
because like when people change controls, like let's say there was only one, they change it. Well, we want the old controls. Well, you can't.
Yeah,
and then they got to go back. So like that's why I like when there's separate things like that. So like as long as they have the online one,
a lot of these studios this is all the hearsay and just rumors I was reading. A lot of these studios are like, man, we're fucking sick of making the same fucking game.
Activision made all these studios just make Call of Duty.
Yeah, and all these things
and
were
it's
like
gotten stale because how many times can you fucking write the book on the same subject?
So now Xbox is like, all right, instead of let's wasting all these resources making because they've literally figured they found in studies that like it'd be the same map from last year, and they just reskin it to look like from one map to the other, and it's literally the same path.
Imagine if like you're an artist and they tell you to paint the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
you're gonna get a little tired and be like, fuck, I'm just.
So some of these studios are gonna get some
like they made all them people that were making the Vicarious Visions, making the role playing games, and the Star Wars stuff. They're you're not gonna make Call of Duty now.
Yeah,
and they're like, we don't really want to.
Another game here, Guitar Hero. Maybe make another return here. Who knows? Hopefully they don't do what they did last Guitar Hero, because that new guitar and game style sucked.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Last one was 5 for me.
Yeah, so they took the guitar and they added
more buttons.
four buttons, but the buttons went from one side to the other. So it was like a one button, but it had 2 sides to it.
It was almost like you were playing like chords, kind of.
Yeah, they kind of made it
to make it more realistic, kind of. But
it sucked though. It didn't work.
It wasn't bad, but I feel like they could have made it better.
I was done after the Van Halen one.
Yeah. Tony Hawk Pro Skater, which people are going crazy about because the remasters came out and everyone's like, can we just get more of these?
Everybody liked them.
Yeah, so that can be something you see more of. Already in the chat, Mario is excited from Welcome Back. So go support that podcast on the network. Just go to iwpnetwork.com, support Welcome Back podcast. Mario joining us says Call of Duty Xbox exclusive with some hard eyes.
In about 2 years. Not for well, they can't do it.
Do you think that one stays? Do you think that one stays exclusive to one system? Or you think because of that Vanguard and
if I were them, I'd make it exclusive, but there's more money if it's not exclusive.
Yeah, I mean Minecraft's not exclusive.
Yeah, so I mean, Warzone will never be exclusive.
Yeah, and he says, and hopefully more Tony Hawk games. Shane says Call of Duty needed this buyout. Yeah,
they made the Tony Hawk people work on Call of Duty too.
Yeah,
that's why they couldn't make 3 and 4.
Yeah, and so this is kind of interesting, and I know that the dates in this are crazy. Like it's not as crazy as you once think, but growing up, when you turn on your TV and you've seen Sony commercials and PlayStation commercials, their mascot was Crash Bandicoot.
Yes, it was.
Yep.
He's now owned by
Yeah.
Xbox.
It's about Microsoft. You gotta say Microsoft.
Well, same thing. Microsoft,
No,
Xbox.
not really.
The game console is Xbox.
Yes.
Yes.
But you gotta say Microsoft.
But Crash Bandicoot and Spyro,
Yeah.
which both started off as PlayStation exclusives, then eventually
had
went
both.
to GameCube and then every
everywhere,
other
yeah.
system. They're now owned by Microsoft. Yes. What's the other one we have here? Blizzard franchises, Warcraft, which has been something people wanted back for a while.
World of Warcraft is the big one. So 26 million people
Still
are active
subscribed.
users. So that means they pay $15.99 a month. So $15.99 times 26 million.
Yeah. StarCraft. Sorry, not Warcraft. StarCraft. People want more.
Yeah,
of.
they want Warcraft and StarCraft, and
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is different. That's the MMO.
Another shooter, Overwatch, is now under that brand. Well, is under that branch. Diablo, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm.
I believe Hearthstone is the card game for mobile phones,
And
For
it combines all of the franchises of Blizzard in one card game.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. And I know they had a BattleNet that you could first you would just pay for WoW and you had to pay for Diablo separately. But I think BattleNet you got them all for one price. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But still, $15.99, you got 26 million people paying that.
Yeah, that's crazy. And here's another one that people are like, "Oh boy, this is here's your big cash cow." LOL. Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Candy Crush makes $500,000 a day in
Yes.
microtransactions.
Yes, because all
Crazy.
those older ladies, like I know because
insane.
I have a sister-in-law that used to be addicted to it, but man, they love it.
But that's when it's like
I
they're
couldn't do
gonna
it.
buy that and just gonna make money and like they're not gonna
played
put
it
it
for, like,
on
5
the
minutes and then I
systems
gave
because
up.
the people that
Yeah.
play that aren't gonna buy it.
Yeah, not
They're
a
gonna play it well.
even
I
you take
wasn't
like
too thrilled with
because
it.
Microsoft has its own mobile division.
Yeah, but
So now
even
you
a
put-
couple bucks that they pay
$500,000
for it,
a
that's
day?
lot. Yeah, that's
$500,000 a day in microtransactions.
How much
Yeah.
could you really add though? I mean, that's been around for over 10 years.
more
Yeah.
levels. I don't
They
know.
just keep adding
Yeah.
more levels.
It could be
More
like Halo
levels and-
themed levels or
Yeah.
Yeah,
now they can
and
add
get it
franchises to
themed
it.
right? Like they do come out with a new one every season, like a Halloween one, Christmas one.
The
Oh,
all
Funko
that
Pop
kind
game,
of
which is
stuff.
very similar to that, is killing it as well
I
because
didn't know there was before.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
did.
Yeah, there
either.
is.
yeah, there's a Funko Pop version of like a Candy Crush, and all they
Oh,
do is
wow.
just like here's a Back to the Future thing, and then for
Oh, I
six
bet you
for,
that makes a ton of
for
money.
a couple weeks we
Yeah.
switched because Funko Pop has all those licenses, so they just changed the
And
licenses.
there's also ads, right? Like,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, so they probably make money off that too.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't get it because I remember I played it back in the day. It was like play level 5 or wait 2 weeks or pay $5 to pay next level. It's like
Yeah.
Some
nope,
people
delete.
pay.
And that was
Yeah.
Mario.
Some people do.
Mario,
They're
15 years ago?
crazy.
yeah, Mario brings a good point that I was just about to bring up. So Epic Games went out of their way to pick up Rock Band. Now Xbox is going to be picking up the title for for Guitar Hero. Do we get the resurgence of music games, which is something to think about?
I really hope so.
I don't know. It's been enough time because people got really burned out there, but it's their own fault.
Yeah.
So
I never
maybe,
got burned out.
but- yeah.
I think
The world
it's
did.
yeah, I think it's one of those things where I don't think Rock Band has to make a new game, and if they do, maybe make one, but still have where they
Depends.
carry everything
Do you want
over.
to put a story
Yeah,
into
they
it,
should.
or like you know
They-
how the story was kind of like your local band?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like is it? Let's say they make a new one, the new Rock Band. Are they just gonna do guitars? Are they gonna do all the instruments?
I think it has to be all guitar.
Are
I
they,
think
gonna, are they gonna have keyboards? Are they gonna get rid of keyboards? Remember they
Yeah.
added that?
Mhm. Yeah, no
what
one
do-
really
what do
plays
you
a
do?
keyboard anymore in Rock Band, but it's still full band. But that's a great point. And then we have in the chat, I want WoW on console. So that was a debate we
Yeah.
had in the chat.
So I played WoW for many a year, right? I could not imagine playing that with a controller.
Now, what was your whole
I was a female human paladin, right?
Yeah, no, what was your not argument, but what was your stance on
so
WoW?
when I would get in the game, right?
Mhm.
You log in, you get into your world. So when you would now I know there's an app. Let's say you want to adventure. You really can't adventure by yourself. You need a group. So you have to go into the area chat,
Mhm.
right? It's for the whole chat, and you have to say looking for group, what class you are, all that, blah blah blah. I know you can make a button for that, but like, and then your powers, like you have it just like Diablo. You have it, but instead of Diablo, like you got to move your character like because it's 3-dimensional,
Mhm.
so it's not like, top down. But then like, and then when you're raiding or when you're in a group and you're in the area, you have to give directions. But it's not just like over there. You know how games is like
Yeah.
over here, pick this. So you have to actually talk, like heal me, give me this buff, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You can't just hit a button and say buff because like, well, which one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's very in depth. And then the raid is 30 people,
Mhm.
and then you had to put your healers in one area, and then your damage, your DPS, and then your tanks, and you had to talk all this. So we had a thing called Ventrilo. I don't know if
Yep.
it's still around, and that was the
The
online
voice
chat.
chat.
But the only problem with that is like you had to set up privately. So like you couldn't just go to the world and then have a world Ventrilo because it was a separate app. Maybe they have it now, but like imagine having different voice apps for every group and then every raid. There's a lot of typing.
Yeah.
involved. And I remember me, typing.
So the biggest thing for you is communication.
Yeah, and that game taught me how to type. So
Makes sense,
That,
yeah.
That's how much typing you do. Because
Yeah.
and then when you're downtime, like in the raid stuff, and you're chatting all your gear, blah 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 blah, you would type stuff.
I still
Now you
think
can
there's
get this, but that's
yeah.
not the
I
same.
still think there's gonna be a lot of
That's
people
a
who
lot.
want that typing aspect of it. But I personally think transferring the game style and mechanics can go to console because they did it with Diablo, and they're very similar when it comes to mechanic wise. Because Diablo and World of Warcraft still have your. I'm trying to put this best in description for people who are listening.
You have
but
your
there's a bar,
hotkeys,
your
yes.
hotkeys, and then you can change your hotkeys over and all because you
Yeah.
can have multiple different bars.
Yeah.
And Diablo had the same thing where you just kind of hit like down on the D-pad and changes your bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only problem with that, the thing with the computer, when you mouse, you go right to your powers, and in the
Yeah.
heat of battle, you can need more.
But I mean,
it sounds
Diablo
super
did
dorky.
Yeah, Diablo did a good job of translating it over to console.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
only problem is then the communication
Yeah,
aspect.
and I think
Like
with
Diablo,
Xbox
like-
party chats will help that.
Yeah, but but then you would need party chat for the main world,
Mhm.
the group.
Well,
Every
it
single
it
group,
wouldn't be so much for the main
every
world.
raid. Well, yeah, not the main world, but
Yeah.
you would need to talk. Like when you want to sell stuff, yeah, there's the auction house. But you'd be like, I'm selling this tunic for 100 gold, and there's an auction chat, right?
Yeah.
So you would say that, and then you get a private message. Hey, I would like to buy that.
Yeah.
Would you accept 80? You can't do that with buttons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot of talking.
So
Whereas Diablo was like 4 people. Here's the level. Go.
yeah, exactly.
World of Warcraft is like, here's the world.
The biggest thing for me was I wasn't big on typing.
Yeah. Oh, then
So
yeah,
I'm
you
more of
will
a
not
I'm
last
more
the
of a
MMO.
voice chat type person,
Which
and it was
is-
very very hard to find people because I played most of World of Warcraft completely alone.
Yeah. Like you could solo some
It was a
certain
lot.
classes,
Yeah,
like, but you could excel as a group, but you
Yeah.
group with strangers usually, unless you're buddies. But then you would have your own private voice chat.
yeah. I
So-
would be very very interested to get a group of people together and now join an Xbox party and get everyone together in an
Yeah.
Xbox party and go play World of Warcraft. I would probably resubscribe to World of Warcraft if it came
Well,
to console.
The only thing about it's a time sink.
Oh, absolutely.
takes
Yeah, it's
Many
definitely
hours, and it's super dorky.
I feel like it'd be interesting to see.
the world
see
is
if
so
they
vast
can
and
do
cool.
it.
Yeah.
It is
I mean,
cool.
like we've come so far
Yeah, the
in
storyline is
gaming.
cool.
Like I feel like
A
eventually
lot of
they'll be able
World of
to do it.
Warcraft made itself simpler because as it got to the point where it's so simple that old school players are like, we want the vanilla version back, and then
Yeah.
they relaunched the vanilla
yeah,
version.
the Onyxia's Lair. Where
Yeah.
you get your epics. Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I haven't played it in 15 years. Last time I played it was before I wrestled. So
what was the last expansion you played?
Burning Crusade,
It
you could
sounded
get to
like
level
fun,
70.
but yeah.
Okay, so the one I
That's a
played was when
lot.
they enjoyed the pandas.
Oh yeah, I was gone, but
Yeah.
I was like, man,
Panda.
I kind of want to be a kung fu panda.
Yeah, it was Kung Fu
Because you
Pandas.
could be a monk panda.
Be a
Yeah.
panda.
What do we have in the chat here? Candy Crush needs extra lives, and that's what you pay for every time.
Could you imagine playing Super Mario Brothers? Oh, I'm out of lives. $4.99.
Yep. I don't mind WoW going to console as
Well,
long
did
as
you
they
have
work on
to
the
pay?
server
Do you have
better
to
than
pay for-
Diablo 2 Resurrection.
Yes.
For Candy
No.
Crush?
Yeah.
No,
have
you
to pay
just
for those
can't
extra lives, or
play-
do you just have to wait for like 24 hours?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You either pay or you have to wait like
Okay.
a day or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like WoW servers, that's where it's different. So Diablo servers, I think you have 4 people to a team, right?
Yeah.
So that's your server. The server for WoW has to have many players in the world. So there was different servers.
Yeah.
I forget what I was on. And you have to have upwards of, I don't know, 5,000 people. So like that's probably the real hard translation over, just because there's so many people in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I don't think it's impossible. I think it can be done, but like just make a keyboard attachment. That way you can have the controller to move your character around, and then you still.
Didn't they
Well,
used to have a
there
keyboard
is a keyboard attachment you can put on your controller now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but your thumbs are.
Yeah, I agree. Some other news that I have I have here, local news. If you're listening and you're not from our area, this means nothing to you. But if you're local,
He seems upset.
it's been 4 years since we lost our movie theater at the
Yeah.
Schuylkill
Oh
Mall.
God, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sad.
4 years.
That is sad.
In that time, I have seen 2 movies in the theater.
I'm not too far behind you. Yeah.
No, me neither.
Yeah, a little local. We'll just kind of get in there. RIP
Yeah.
that theater.
When
Man,
that
that was
closed, I was like, I may have seen my last movie.
It was so
Theater.
sad.
it
I
hurt.
saw the very last movie in that theater.
You don't know how
She did.
good having a theater 5 to 10 minutes away
Yeah.
is
Here's
until
the
you don't
thing.
have it.
Yeah,
It was
because now
more-
it's like
It was more than
Hazelton
just a
Bookstore.
theater for us anyway.
us,
It was
yeah.
more than just that was our Friday night date night.
No?
Every
Yep.
Friday we went up there, and it was just
Sometimes
bar food.
Friday and Saturday. Like
Yeah.
we would just go hang
It was
out,
it was
watch
bar food.
movies.
So you go in and you get a burger they made on a George
But
Foreman
it wasn't
grill.
bad.
Yeah.
No, it was good.
You had shrimp they made in a deep fryer,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
and the staff there
Yeah.
became like
There was that
family.
one girl who was so cute. She dressed like Ray for Star Wars.
Brianna, she
I
also dressed like Wonder Woman.
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen Batman, Superman there, but I don't remember anyone. I seen it during the day, so maybe she did.
I mean, there was a lot of awesome
Yeah.
people there.
I mean,
that
and the
Silver
best-
Surfer that came out of the wall.
Yeah.
Where's
The-
that?
Somebody.
The best.
Somebody
Mhm.
bought that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody bought that. A lot of that stuff went up for auction when it was.
Yeah.
There's a
done.
movie.
We
There's
have
a,
a chair.
there's a chair sitting
Yeah.
there. We
I
bought a
remember
chair.
the chairs. I could have bought ones. Like I don't know.
But that
We just have
we've
to
made
fix it so
we've
you
made
can sit on
amazing
it.
friends that people who work there and
We're still friends
and
with
other
them.
customers. Like we still have like get-togethers where it's like us and other customers that we became really good friends with,
Mhm.
and like the customers and that waiting like staff still get together and hang out.
$5 Tuesday movies. Remember that? That
Yeah.
was wonderful.
There was
Yeah.
Mhm.
nothing better than going to a 21 and older theater.
Yeah,
I was
I
just
was,
gonna say that.
I was
Yep.
just gonna say that too. I was
Fuck
just-
Yeah.
those kids.
no
Um,
offense to people who have
We
kids,
walked
but
out
for
once
people who,
because it was
or for people who
cool.
have kids, no offense, but for people who don't have kids and you go to a movie theater and all you hear is screaming children is like,
it's awful.
oh,
and you, I mean, it was a height of
Worse than the
superhero movies.
teenagers.
Yeah.
It was a height of superhero movies. So I can go
Yeah.
see Avengers with no kids
Yeah.
and have a beer.
That was like
Yeah.
every Friday
And Star
something new was
Wars.
coming out. We
Yeah.
were going to the movies.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
I seen a lot there.
I fell asleep.
So
though.
R.I.P.
And now it's
Pearl
a
Theater.
empty DC.
Yeah.
I remember
no,
seeing
it's
One
up
of them's
now.
open.
Oh, what was
Yeah.
what's there?
Bath and Body Works.
Oh,
no,
great.
Bed Bath and Beyond.
Same thing.
No,
Um,
it's not at all.
Another
No.
news announced today: King of the Hill is getting revitalized.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, I liked King of the
Really?
Hill.
Yeah.
God damn it, Bobby.
Good.
Damn it, Bobby.
Propane and propane accessories.
A little bit of local news too. If you go to our Facebook page, this is just a call to action type thing. If you want our Facebook page, we have a friend of the podcast who supports all of the shows. Super cool. She's a local tattoo artist. She's done tattoos on both of us. Super cool. Her name is Amber Lee Hoffman. She's me and Heidi.
I know.
Yeah. She is in the runnings to be the cover girl of Inked magazine. There is ways that there's a donation thing where you can donate and get more votes for her. And I think I don't know exactly where it goes to. I have to look at that real quick. The see here.
Ink magazine specializes in women with many tattoos.
Tattoos.
Yeah.
Just in case you don't know.
So the donations go to some music organization.
Well, geez, if you don't get that from the title, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you might think it's an octopus fetish magazine.
Yeah. It goes to some music organization for supporting music arts.
Oh, okay.
Or you can do a free donation. You get one a day.
yeah,
But she
For
currently
voting, you mean?
Yeah, she's up against 15 people, and each wave they eliminate
one right.
one from like they take some people from that and they go on. The winner gets $25,000 and the
Wow.
opportunity to be the cover of the magazine.
Yeah.
Cool. She tattoos out of Abaddon, who is our sponsor.
And then she tattoos out of our sponsor of the podcast, Abaddon Tattoo Studio. And I'd be telling people to support her even if it wasn't our sponsor.
Yeah.
She's currently in first place.
Oh, wow.
So let's
Good
keep
for
her
her.
there. So
Yeah.
she's
That's
winning
awesome.
her wave. Yeah. So go and vote. It's cover.inkedmag.com 2022 Amber Hoffman. If you just go to Ink Magazine, there's a contest thing. You click on it, you'll see everybody, and just click Amber Hoffman. She's in first place right now. Go support her. She's absolutely fantastic. And who knows, she might be on interviews with other people very soon talking about this contest. So go support her. The last bit of news, and then we'll get on to our topic here, is PlayStation news. A lot of the PlayStation news right now is kind of hearsay, but PlayStation seems to be loosening their grip a little bit on a subscription service, kind of like Game Pass. So hopefully it comes soon.
It's codenamed Spartacus.
Spartacus, yes.
And
So
the PlayStation 3 games have been spotted on the PlayStation 5 store. And
yep. So
why would
there's
that
a
be
little
on
bit of a
there?
hint for some backwards compatibility coming to PlayStation, which is much needed.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yes, but the
It
only
is,
thing-
but I think they should have did it for the PS4 to launch it first, because if it's on the PS5 and nobody has it,
Yeah,
it seems like it's just a waste of time. Like, why did you put it on a system that like maybe 5 to 10 people may actually have,
That's a
while
good
the
point.
scalpers have the rest of them?
Well,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
they do that with the first PS3? Because I had the first
Yes.
PS3 that you could do
Mhm.
PS2 and PS1 games.
Yep.
which still goes for $200 if you have the 4 ports. In the
Yeah. PlayStation also did announce
I have
that.
mine yet, but it's dead and it's up in the attic.
Yeah, PlayStation did announce that they are going to continue production of the PlayStation 4.
Really?
Yep, for the
Well-
next 3 years.
Wow.
That seems
Are they going to
asinine.
do it
Becau-
at a discounted rate?
And yet they won't
Since
work on
the-
PS5.
Yeah.
Well, they are working on it. They just don't have it. They can't meet the demands
Oh,
for a PS5.
oh.
Now this is where I'm going to
But
get
wouldn't
into.
you put all your
Yeah, and
re-
people
Yeah,
into
resources into
PS5,
making the 5?
right.
Like Xbox said, they're not making any more Xbox Ones.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Don't.
Maybe they
Um,
think they won't make the money because people won't buy because they're more expensive.
Yeah,
Obviously,
but, like,
right?
If I don't have PS5, right? I'm not gonna buy a PS4.
Mhm.
They probably already have one.
So,
Like,
so this is where
I don't get that.
this is
that
where I'm
logic.
going to sound like a hater, but I'm going to rehash some old news.
Yeah.
That why to me this is kind of funny that I truly feel PlayStation is just like shooting themselves in the foot a little bit here. So that when Xbox announced their two systems, they announced the S and the X, and they said the S was not as powerful, but it can still handle next gen gaming. And the entire internet, the gaming community, gaming people, and PlayStation said, why would you support a system that's not that's going to hold back your games? And then everyone jumped on that train. Like, you're going to hold back our games. And PlayStation said, we are not holding back our games. We are pursuing the PlayStation 5, and our games will be PlayStation 5 only.
Mhm.
Then they realized they can't put enough PlayStation 5s out. And now every single game, the new Horizon, the new God of War, everything for the next
Ratchet and
possibly 3 years is going to be played.
Ratchet and Clank is not on PlayStation.
Ratchet and Clank's the only one that won't be played on the new system, on the old system. But everything going forward now is going to be played on both systems. And if you want to upgrade, you have to pay for it.
Yeah, which
Yeah, that's stupid.
They did have some free, but like, I wouldn't be mad about paying for an upgrade because I'd be like, well, I bought it for
Unless
$4,
this Game Pass
now if
thing
you buy
comes
for
out.
5, which I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be like Xbox. I think what it's gonna be is, hey, play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games. And 4 is backwards.
I think if they did that, it'd be a waste of time to even launch.
It's kind of like Nintendo's.
Yeah,
like it's not Game Pass, but you play Nintendo.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be like that. And also, the PlayStation 5 cannot play PlayStation 1 games because it does not read CDs.
Yeah,
you put a CD in, it just says unknown disc.
Yep.
So they'd have to make an attachment to play PlayStation 1. It's like, oh fuck, unless they can download some
there is something you can go in there and because you can put original Xbox games on an
Xbox.
Yeah,
because Xbox will read a CD.
Yeah,
but PlayStation 5 only reads Blu-rays and DVDs.
Interesting.
I don't know if you can change it because it's like, man, that PlayStation 1 library, there's a lot of good shit there.
There is
a lot of good shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. I had a bit of news I want to say.
Good.
Since we're done that probably. So Tom Taylor that's writing the Superman book, he's bisexual, everyone got offended, right? So he was getting death threats, which is so dumb.
What?
And
people
some
are
guy,
threatening to kill a guy because he made a gay version of Superman.
Yeah. So it's Superman's kid. His name is
just by the way, it's 2022.
Yes. maybe get you don't know any gay people in your life?
Holy fuck.
He is Jonathan Kent, right? So he's Superman's kid. And he grew up, blah, 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 blah. He's like 18. Maybe he's 20. Whatever. He has this guy that likes to he's a boyfriend, but he's bisexual, so people can't handle it, right? So some guy messages him, direct message, adds him on Facebook and says, Superman is gay or something. He shared it. I hope you die. Or something like that.
Oh my God.
And his name was Miroslav. So what did Tom Taylor do? Takes a screenshot, goes to this, I forget the charity that supports gay children, and he donates $50 to this charity in the guy's name.
Love
Yes,
it. Love
that's
it.
the way to do it.
That is awesome. And then like Glad was sharing everything. That is so
And then
cool.
I would write his villain who's super gay.
Yeah, yeah. Here comes Miroslav. That was the guy's name.
Yeah.
Like,
Actually, I would make his boyfriend in the comics name.
Yeah. My real name is this.
Yeah, I would totally.
I was like, what a way to just one up that guy.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They'd probably like sue him then.
It's
for
a
rights or
comic
something.
you were
Yeah,
never
but-
gonna buy.
Yeah, that's so
Who gives a
dumb.
shit?
Most people
And
complain.
it's really good.
Yeah, most people complain about comics to movies and stuff like that. Don't even read the
No,
comics.
no,
Right.
and they never bought one. They don't even own one.
Mhm.
But I thought that was just so cool how he donated in that
Yeah.
guy's name.
I
And then
think
he shared it
that's a really
on his,
good way
on his
to,
Twitter
like,
and everything.
Yeah.
What is the band? I'm gonna get some heat for this. Maybe you get what is the band that just broke up that everyone band up your alley? Andy loves them a lot. They that's the other
Just broke up recently.
Yeah, they like this week.
I don't know. I'm drawing a blank here.
Until every
Every
day.
time I die.
Every time I die.
Yeah, he really likes them. That was the one that Andy Williams was in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe.
I mean, he's
yeah,
doing fine.
he's a
I don't
wrestler.
really-
I think he doesn't need to play music anymore.
Yeah.
Nor maybe he doesn't want to. Or also,
I don't know much about their music, but officially
I
they
wasn't real
announced-
big into them. Did they announce their breakup? Keith Buckley, I think the guy's singer's name was.
I think they wanted to get away from the singer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, bands have that all the time. You know?
And
So
I
at
guess
least that
the
one
rest of
guy.
I guess the rest of the band's like, well, we're done.
Yeah, they'll just make another band, or like maybe the bassist and drummer will go here and the guitarist
Yeah.
goes here. Well, Andy Williams versus wrestle,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, that's the only other news I had. Anyone else? Anything else?
Justified, a TV show that was very popular about maybe 5-6 years ago and when it went off air. Justified is coming back to FX as a limited series, and it kind of gives you an update on Raylan Givens. So if anybody was a Justified fan,
I've heard of
This-
it, but I never watched
that was really good. It was
It was Justin Timberlake's first album.
Shut up.
No, it was a really good show. It was actually about Harlan, Kentucky, which is a coal mining town, and this guy goes back and he's a sheriff.
Oh, so it wasn't. I thought it was a Western, like
It kind of is, but
It's not set back then.
It's no, but
Okay.
it's more like our setting here. This old coal mining town that's like highly depressed, and then he goes in.
Racist.
Yeah, the first season was all about him and his ex best friend was like a neo-Nazi, and he's after him. But then he gets out of that stage and becomes friends and stuff. Like in the end, you see them. Well, Boyd goes to jail in the very end of the first one, but and they were both coal miners and stuff when they were younger, and they kind of went apart, and Raylan became like the more upstanding citizens sheriff, and he comes back and like kicks ass basically.
I think Ronnie on the Howard Stern show like Justified.
Really?
I think he talked
Justified it. Timothy Oliphant played him, so that was always a must watch for me.
Yeah.
Do you have any news, Heidi?
Just the Bel Air show. It's the reboot of Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and Will Smith is, I think he's like,
Executive producer.
yeah. But it's supposed to be more based on his life, like truly based on his life, I guess,
Oh,
or
cool.
closer than the old show.
So it's not a continuation, like
No,
the
it's gonna
same
be a reboot.
characters?
It's like a reboot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did Scream come out this weekend?
it did.
Last week.
Last
yeah.
weekend. I was
People
wondering.
people seem to like it.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they don't think it's the best Scream, but they said they
it's
enjoyed
the
it.
best one since the first one.
That's what I heard, too.
I think someone said
that.
they said that they like 1, 3,
I don't know if it was somebody on our fan page who might have said
1,
it.
3, then this one. So I think
Yeah.
that's what I've been saying.
What were you
Peacemaker
saying,
came
Anthony?
out too, but I didn't get to watch
Peacemaker,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony, you have any news?
I'll touch on Peacemaker at the end. I did watch that.
There was two things. Rock Band just announced their stuff for today. It's the Pretty Reckless is bringing another song to Rock Band, and Bring Me the Horizon is bringing another song into
Yeah,
the
Die
game.
For
So I'm
You.
glad to hear that
That's
they're getting
their-
more.
That's their radio play. That's their release they have now that gets played on Octane a lot. Die For You. It's okay.
I don't know either one of those bands.
I know I,
feel
don't
like
like
I
him.
heard of that one, but I'm not sure.
Pretty
I
Deadly
actually-
or whatever.
this is funny.
Never heard of
Pretty
him, but I
Reckless.
hate him.
She was Cindy
You
Lou
hate him?
Who.
I
she
hate him.
was
Yeah, she was Cindy
Oh,
Lou Who.
that's
in
her.
Cindy. Yeah, she was
Okay.
Oh,
Cindy.
the girl who plays Cindy
Oh,
Lou
she's
Who.
hot. Taylor
Yeah.
Momsen.
Yes, she's the
Okay.
lead singer in the
I
Pretty
know when
Reckless.
someone's hot.
What
But you
what's their
won't listen
band?
to her voice.
No,
but you'll
I'm
look
sure.
at
I'm
her.
sure it's awful.
Andy,
It
Does
doesn't
it
sound
sound like
good.
Paramore at all? Paramore's alright.
No, it's
I
like
like
a
Paramore.
heavy. It's a heavier
It's like a harder
version.
rock.
Yeah,
Kitty.
Bring Me the Horizon.
Remember Kitty?
Yeah, I didn't. I was. Then they went black metal. Like,
Yeah.
they really got heavy. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Screaming
It
pterodactyls.
wasn't. The one guitar player was really hot.
Yeah.
The black.
What else, Anthony?
Today there was an announcement as well for this big like pop punk, hardcore metal, emo festival in
Oh
Las
yeah, I did
Vegas.
see that too. Yep.
I saw something about that.
It's like
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance, Bring Me the Horizon,
Horizon.
Ice Nine Kills, Paramore, the Ready Set, and like there's so much more on there.
It looks like the old Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that? Yeah.
It's all in one day, and people are like, "Well, how the hell do you see that many bands?" Dude,
Four
there's gonna be
stages.
multiple fucking
Stages.
stages.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you can't see
See,
every band.
and see, I think some of these younger kids, they don't know what it's like to go to a concert where there's like,
Where they don't
20
step. Where they don't step on each other's heads.
yeah, and they don't have like 3 or 4
Yeah, the
stages.
side
That's
stage.
all I would pick because I could go see In This Moment on one stage, then I'd bounce over here and see Fozzy on the next stage, and
I
that's
like
what it
that.
was.
at
I loved
Ozfest.
it.
If you didn't like one band, go watch the other.
yeah,
hmm
All right. I think that'll do it. Let's get to our main topic. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a friend. Betty White. A lot of going on here. Like I said, I am going to briefly skim. Sorry, I got the beer burps. I'm going to briefly skim over some things, go over her life. If there's anything in between, please stop. And if there's anything in the chat, Anthony, let me know. All right. Betty White, born Betty White, born January 17th, 1922.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was
She's
before
an
America.
Yeah, before everything.
before sliced bread.
Mhm.
Yeah, she
Pottsville
technically
didn't have good history last
she
class
was
for you,
she was
huh?
born before sliced bread.
That was
She was
before-
she's born
Before
before
the Civil War.
she was born before stoplights.
Oh my God,
She was
really?
born before
There was
literally
like a whole list of stuff we were.
yeah
TV?
TV.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
radio then.
Yeah.
In the 1920s.
Yeah. So she was a actress and comedian and a pioneer of early television with a career spanning over 7 decades. She was noted for her vast work in entertainment industry and being one of the first women to work in both both in front and behind a camera. She's the first woman to produce a sitcom, with Elizabeth, in the United States, which contributed to her being named an honorary member of Hollywood in 1955. White is often referred to as the First Lady of Television, a title used for the 2018 documentary detailing her life and career.
And she started in 1940 on radio.
Yeah.
1940.
So after making a transition from television to radio, she became a staple panelist of the American. Actually, I'm going too far. That's like the overview of her career. I don't want to do all that. So early life. Betty White was born in Oak Park, Illinois on January 17, 1922. And it was Betty was her legal name. It was not a shortened version of Elizabeth. That was usually a big thing. Like my grandmother, everyone called her Betty.
But
her name was Elizabeth.
Yeah, it's like Patty, Patricia.
She didn't live there very long because at the age of 1, her family moved to California in 1923 when she was, like I said, a year old, and then went to Los Angeles during the Great Depression. Her father built radios and sold them radios, and also he would like exchange dogs. Like he would trade like
dogs,
like he would help.
dogs and radios.
He would do stuff with animals. I just don't know exactly what it was to kind of make ends meet. Her family wasn't poor. They did pretty well because they would go on a lot of vacations. One of the places they would go to all the time was I just literally had it and I lost it. Where the hell are we at?
Wasn't it Yellowstone? It was a national park.
Do they have Yellowstone?
I should have kept my notes. I was doing so much better with that.
Yeah. It was a national park, I think, because I literally, I think I read that in my book.
Sierra Nevada. She would go to Sierra Nevada, and she was obsessed with Sierra Nevada, and it really sparked her interest to become a forest ranger. Unfortunately, she was not able to pursue those dreams because women were not allowed to be forest rangers.
She's a woman.
And woman, and back in those times too, you had to be a certain stature and stuff to be a forest ranger. You actually had to have a certain build, certain weight, certain height and stuff. They looked for that. And a penis. That was
no dame can do this job. We gotta climb up these trees here. Come on now.
Yeah. So yeah, she unfortunately could not follow her dream. So also when she was in school, she was very interested in writing and doing in the plays and stuff like that. So she kind of re-sparked her passion and found that avenue instead, because she started acting in the school plays and writing the school plays. Jeanette MacDonald and Eddie Nelson were 2 huge inspirations for her, and that's really pushed her into.
They're probably stars of the time.
Yes. And it really pushed her into the career as an actress. 1 month after graduating high school, her and her classmate went on a experimental TV show and sang songs on the Merry Widow. I'm not sure. Once again, these are a lot predates, so we don't know. It's definitely not a Justin Bieber song. Yeah. And television at the time was still in the very developmental stage where there wasn't like, well, we have this ability. Like, what the fuck do we do on it?
Yeah.
Like, because a lot of people who were the big radio stars, now you're like, shit, I have to get on.
And probably a lot of them like TV. That'll never get over. They probably were all
it was TV, and then some of them didn't have a face for TV. They had a voice for radio. That's,
like, look at that fucking
But
guy.
Betty, thank God Betty didn't. Betty was quite pretty in her day. She was pretty as an older.
You would think. But we'll go on here. So during this time, she did a few things and landed more work in modeling, and her first acting job was in the Bliss Hayden Theater. After the United States entered World War II in 1941, she volunteered for the Women's Voluntary Services Act, and her assignment was driving a PX truck with military supplies from the Hollywood Hills, and she'd also participate in events that would help support the troops and do shows before they went deployed overseas.
Badass Betty.
Yep.
That's something they let her drive a truck.
Yeah. I was thinking that.
Well, they didn't have truck drivers then because all the men went over to war.
Yeah. You got to think of that. Women picked up a lot of the load there.
What do they call that? Rosie Riveter.
Rosie Riveter. Yeah.
Like that's why women's baseball.
I was just gonna say women's baseball. A League of Their Own is one of my all-time favorite movies,
movie.
And that was totally true. I was seeing the exhibit up at Cooperstown over this summer.
Cool.
It was real neat. Yep.
Did you ever read the Bombshell comics for DC?
Yes.
And that was pretty much all based on World War II, where the men superhero had to go over and fight during World War II, and the women became the stars of America.
Yeah,
but
except Batman. Except Batman.
Well,
Fucker
Batman
didn't go.
rich.
Business.
He's rich.
Batman paid people
Batman
off.
stayed back. He draft dodged and he became a detective.
Yeah.
He was like the old, hey, see?
You know, all the women were staying around.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he was
rich.
trying to slay it.
Yeah.
He got out of it.
So one of her first, all right, here he goes. So after the war, Betty White made rounds to some movie studios looking for work, but she was turned down because she was not photogenic.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
So they're like, nope, sorry, Betty, you don't fit the bill. You're
Wow.
not good enough for radio,
I would have-
for not good enough for movies.
I would have
White, we asked for Paige.
I
We
thought she
want
was
Betty
pretty.
Page. Come on
Yeah.
now.
So she started going to radio jobs because being photogenic didn't matter, she said.
Well, yeah, not in
Her first jobs included reading commercials and playing little bit parts, and sometimes even doing the crowd noises. So some of those like laugh tracks.
Yeah.
That was Betty. She made about $5 a show, and she would do just about anything to get an opportunity to do things. So she was really paying her dues. Like she would show up, work for free, do whatever was asked for her. She would do songs. She would
But in
sing.
the late 40s, early 50s, $5 a show is pretty good.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say that. They gotta
She
think.
she would sing for no pay. She appeared on such shows as Blondie, The Great Glider Slev, and This Is Your FBI. And eventually, she paid enough dues and made enough friends, and people seen her work ethic that they're saying, you know, we're gonna give you your own radio show. And she was called the Betty White Show. So you have to think of this: you're giving a woman her own show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At that time was not very heard of. You know,
No.
for her to be the star. So then in 1949, she started appearing on TV. She was the co-host with Al Jarvis on a daily live television show, and it was a variety show called Hollywood. The variety show called Hollywood on Television, and it was originally called Make Believe Ballroom, and it was only featured on a few channels, mostly in Los Angeles. So she went from daily like radio stations where a lot of it was improv and they do little skits and
Mhm.
it was all just like top of your head, nothing really written, go to town. And they're like, are you sure you're going to be able to transition to TV? Because this is all a variety show. You have to make stuff up as you go. And she's like, yeah, this is going to be no problem for me. And she excelled. She killed it. And she really, really won a lot of people over because she just dominated. She was so good and she was so witty and so quick on her feet. And she was just she's such a the overall genuine arc you're going to get from Betty White is she was just a genuine human being. Like what you see is what you got. Like she didn't, and she was just super nice and will do anything.
I
for
was
anybody.
watching a clip today it was her and Johnny Carson, I guess back in the late 70s, early 80s. And he said to her, you know, Betty, you're kind of like a mix between Saint Teresa and a call girl. Like,
Yeah.
true.
So she began hosting the show by herself in 1952 after Jarvis departed, and spanning 5.5 hours of live ad lib television 6 days a week over a continuous 4-year span.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
So a
So
lot of yes and.
Yeah. ad libbing for 5 hours a day, every single day for 4.5 years.
Crazy. That's nuts.
That builds up fucking character right there. Like you were literally the queen of improv at that point in time. And she's doing, and it was like Howard Stern live ad reads.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was
Live ad reads.
unbelievable. Let's see. So White would would sing at least a couple songs during each broadcast, and there was she was nominated for her first Emmy Award as Best Actress on Television, competing with Judith Anderson, Helen Hayes, and Amorjean Coco. I don't know. And the award went to Gertrude Berg at the time. At this point, for her body of work with shows that were nominations.
I'm sure they were all great in the 50s.
Yeah. So just going through, she was then nationally syndicated in 1953 to 1955. And she would become one of the few women in television with full creative control in front of and behind the camera. The show was usual for a sitcom in the 1950s because it was co-produced and owned by the 28-year-old woman who still lived with her parents. And they said not to worry about revenants in those days. And usually the incidents were based off real life situations. So she ended up going from the sitcom to do her variety show to be doing a sitcom on television, which was really, really popular.
What was the name of the sitcom? Does it say?
The sitcom
Was this the one with she was married and like
Life with Elizabeth. That was the
Yeah.
one where she was on it and she was also producing it as well.
yeah, and this one was like a sitcom of a married couple, and I believe she would like defy him almost at every terms, or you know like
It was
like
almost
that
very
kind of-
Life with Lucy before I Love Lucy before I
yeah.
Love Lucy.
yeah. So
Another thing too, on her variety show, she had a gentleman on her show who was at the time he was
African American.
African American, he was Black,
Come on.
and a lot of the Southern viewers were like,
They
No.
wouldn't watch that. No.
No, they said get him off the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's
Betty
how
White
bad it
says,
was.
"Don't fucking watch." Like she was like, "I'm not."
No,
yeah.
she what they threatened to boycott the show, and what she ended up doing was giving him more time and more money.
That's
Ooh, good
great.
for
Yeah.
her.
Put it in their
Yep, and
face.
that was back in the 50s.
Yeah.
You got to think that
As a
was,
woman,
Yeah, there was
as
still,
a woman, that was
She's
the
lucky she was
ultimate.
even allowed on TV.
being a kid in the 80s,
Yeah.
like some kids couldn't get toys because it was a black character. Oh, you can't have that toy.
Mhm.
What?
and she
Makes no sense.
now another thing is she's worked her whole life. She's doing stuff for free. She's killing the game. She's like, "All right, we're gonna give you your own show." Then the guy who was your co-host goes away, and we're like, "All right, we trust you to be the host now.
Mhm.
Now we're gonna give you your own sitcom." Hey, now you're getting pressured by the heads and the executive because people are complaining because there's a black guy on TV dancing and singing. And she goes, now, most people who've worked that hard to finally get to those shoes, especially with the deck stacked against her being a
Yeah, they'll
woman,
just say whatever.
They're
Okay,
gonna,
like,
get
all
them,
right, cool, get rid of them. She's like, no,
No.
I'm sticking to it.
that's good.
And so
It got canceled, I think, shortly after that. After
But
she
still.
got heads,
But she stuck to her guns.
She stuck to her guns, stood her ground.
yeah. Well, this is actually, we're getting to it right here. So, from 1952 to 1954, White hosted and produced her own talk variety show called The Betty White Show. It was on TVC and it was on NBC. It was her first television, but her second show to feature that title. Like her sitcom, she had creative control of the series and was able to hire a female director, the first American work in variety television, and to feature an African American performer. So she had a female director and an African American performer on
I
the
bet
show.
a lot of guys didn't like that.
1952 and
Yeah.
1954. The show faced criticism for the inclusion of a tap dancer, Arthur Duncan, as a regular cast member. The criticism followed when NBC expanded their show nationally. Local Southern stations in the Jim Crow era threatened to boycott unless Duncan was removed from the series.
We ain't
In
put that
response, said,
show-
"I'm sorry, live with it."
We ain't gonna put that Betty White show on.
Yep.
Unless you get him off.
Yep. And gave Duncan more airtime. Initially a rating success. Then the show reportedly changed time slots and suffered from lower viewership. By the end of the year, NBC quietly canceled the series. Following the life of Elizabeth, she appeared as Vicky Angel on the NBC sitcom A Date with Angels from 1957 to
That's a wrestling
1958.
name, Vicky
Yeah.
Angel.
Originally intended as a show loosely based on Elmer Rice, who played a dream girl who would focus on Vicky's daydreaming tendencies. However, the sponsor was not pleased with the fantasy elements and pressured them to have them eliminated.
Mm.
I can honestly say for the first time that I ever wanted to get out of a show, Betty White's leader said she really wasn't a huge fan of it.
But back then, shows didn't last long. You only got like 2-3 seasons. That was it. That was
Yeah.
a lot back then. I mean, yeah, the variety shows kept going and going, but that was like a scripted television show that didn't last
Mhm.
very long.
Yeah. The sitcom gave Betty White some positive experiences, though. It was the first time she got to meet Lucille Ball while working on it. As both Date with Angels and I Love Lucy were filmed on the same studios lot, two quickly struck up a friendship over their accomplishments and talking about it in a male-dominant television business in the late 1950s. They relied on each other through a tough divorce, illness, personal loss, and even compared against one another, competed against each other in various game shows back in the day. We actually watched some clips today. I'm actually getting chills. I fucking love Lucy. No pun intended. But we actually watched some things today where they were on teams on Password
Yeah.
and they were working together. And at first they were getting their ass
So
kicked.
they were just losing. Yeah.
And then one of the guys cheated, and then the game got passed.
Not intentionally.
Not
it was,
intentionally.
they
But like in
messed
Password,
up.
you can't say certain things.
Oh, okay. I have
So
no
he-
idea how it
Yeah,
works.
I mean either.
Yeah, you can
so-
only your clue
It has to be a
cannot-
word.
Yeah, your clue has to be an actual word that's in the English
Yeah.
dictionary,
Mhm.
and you cannot say the word or anything loosely based on
Yeah.
the word but you have to guess. So
Oh, okay.
if the word is like cat, you can't say kitty.
So you have to act it out, kind of like what's
No,
that
you,
game,
so
Charades?
if the word was cat,
Yeah.
you would say pet, and then they say dog. Nope, then it goes to the
Yeah.
next team.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then your word is a bunch of words on the board, and those words would then create the main phrase that you have
Mhm.
to guess the password.
They're like
to.
hints to the
Oh, okay.
actual
yeah,
password. Yeah.
So they
Never knew
lost
that show
like
existed.
they lost
Yeah,
like
it's like an
si-
old
yeah
one.
they lost like 6 rounds on like most of the things, and then they came back and won. It was funny.
Yeah.
But Lucille Ball and her together being funny
Yeah.
and witty.
I like
was-
the facial expressions.
Yeah,
they-
so
they-
funny.
it
Who
was
were
just-
the two dudes? Just
Um,
I don't
actors of
remember
the
who they
time?
were.
Yeah, I don't-
Like
I
that.
honestly don't know who
They're
they
not
were.
anybody.
It wasn't like Dick Van Dyke or something.
No. So in the late 1960s, the first lady of game shows Password and the Advice Consent. So like I said, she did tons of stuff. She was on Carson a lot. She was on the Tonight Show. She did stuff like Tell the Truth.
It would have been What was the guy's name? Oh, it'll come to me. I forget his name. Jack something.
On what?
Tonight Show before.
Oh, Jack
that would've
Parr.
been- yeah, before Johnny Carson.
Yeah. It was. She did both Jack Parr and Johnny Carson.
Yeah, and there was a guy before him.
I
too.
seen a lot of Johnny Carson clips today too,
Yeah.
and they were really funny. Her and Johnny had like a really good chemistry together.
And then she actually met her husband on a lot of these shows. She met him on the many appearances on The Password. She was a celebrity guest from that show from 1961 to 1975, and she married the show's host, Alan Luden, in 1963. And he pursued her forever and kept asking to marry, and she kept turning him down, turning him down. And eventually she said yes.
She gave in.
Yeah. Because Alan also had I think 3 kids before meeting her, and his wife passed away.
Oh boy.
And then he
Was that her first husband then?
I think first and only.
Yeah,
Only.
I
Yeah.
don't think she ever remarried either.
Yeah. I could be wrong. We'll see. But yeah, she was on Password, Super Password, $1 Million Password. She made frequent appearances on What's My Line, To Tell the Truth, I've Got a Secret, The Match Game, Pyramid, and made a film debut as a fictional Kansas Senator Elizabeth Ames in the 1962 drama Advise and Consent. Later in 2004, she was on a Q&A host.
Way later.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that this is all bouncing from all these time
Like, we
frames.
go from the 70s to 2004.
Yeah.
Decades later.
Yeah, so she did all these different things, the
Yeah.
co-host.
But you got to
and
think
stuff
in
like
the 70s too, game shows were hot in the
Oh,
70s.
yeah, that was real
Yeah,
popular.
really hot.
Yeah. So that was her big thing. She was always on the Tonight Show, like
She was always so
the late night
busy.
shows and the TV shows.
Yeah.
She would take every job because she said
Why not?
they can disappear tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
take
Yeah.
everything I can get. She goes, one of her biggest things for her whole career. She's always been very grateful and gratitude. She's super humble. She's like, it's a miracle I've worked as long as I did and as much as I did. She goes, you can't do it if you're turning everything down.
Right.
You're always, yeah.
If you think about it, she's one person in all throughout Hollywood that went through black and white, color, Technicolor,
4K.
4K, all
And
the way
radio.
up,
1080p.
HD, 1080p, 4K. She went through everything up until now. That is amazing to me.
Yeah. In the 1970s, she was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show and the Betty White Show once again. She really was. That was like her big break was the Mary Tyler Moore Show. She became
like
really good
best
friends
friends.
with them.
That was
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
back then.
She called her because this was in the book. I guess they offered her a part, and she called up Mary Tyler Moore, and she was like, "Oh, they offered me. I'm going to be on your show." And she's like, "No, you're not. I have veto power."
No.
Joking.
Yeah,
'Cause they were
yeah.
friends, and she's like, "Of course she was joking."
Yeah. Yeah, she was a character on the show, and then they made her a regular character as it went on. A running gag in the show, her character name was Sue Ann, and the running gag in the show was Sue Ann, aggressive clinical personality, while it was the complete opposite of her. The relentlessly perky TV persona was super fictional, and the show was also on the show Happy Homemaker. I don't know, whoever wrote this has just had a stroke there. But yeah, she was super close to Mary Tyler Moore, did that show for a while.
I think that was the show that she played a sister or sister-in-law, or I think it was a sister, an older sister, and the older sister was real close to the mother. And she kind of would poke fun at Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
I think I'm talking about the right show.
She was the host of the Macy's Day Thanksgiving Parade a few times.
Mm.
She then, in 1977, was offered her own sitcom on CBS, which was her fourth entitled The Betty White Show. Once again, did not last very long, but she, because I think it says here her show went up against Monday Night Football's time slot, and it only lasted one season due to cancellation. She appeared several times on the Carol Burnett Show.
Well, that's, to be fair, that's like a death. That's a death time
Yeah.
slot for anybody that ain't
Yeah.
Monday Night
Monday
Football
Night
in our area or in our country, I should say.
Yeah. And then we'll jump ship here to the 1980s. So in 1983, White became the first woman to win a daytime Emmy TV show, working for her outstanding game show host in the NBC Just Men. Due to the amount of work she did for them, she was deemed the first lady of game shows. So yeah,
Cool.
I wish more. I know we still have game shows, but they don't have
It's
the
not
same.
the same.
No,
They don't have the same allure.
no.
No.
I think the
they
last
don't
cool
like
game
do-
show we had was like Celebrity Squares.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember all the what's the British lady?
Who wants to be a
that was
millionaire?
mean.
Who
Yeah,
Wants to
was
Be
that
a
was that? Yeah.
Or who's shit? The weakest link.
Yeah, Weakest
The
Link. You
Weakest
all the
Link.
weakest. That was
Yeah.
big. Like
I
and
think right now ours would be Family Feud. I think is the big one with Steve Harley.
yeah, I guess that's
I know, I
That-
watched
Price is
it.
Right
The
still
Price
going.
is
Price is
yeah,
Right.
Price is Right with
Price
Drew
is
Carey.
Right. Wheel of
Yeah.
Fortune.
Is
Bob
that still
Bartlett.
Before Drew Carey, for
Uh,
all the older
What?
people
I don't
out there.
Is Pat Sajak still alive?
Yeah.
But I think
is Vanna White still alive?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
She's still the letter turner.
I think the problem is I think a lot of
And
daytime
she-
television game shows have gone to like People,
Yeah.
where like it was interesting to see a Betty
Stars,
White like
right.
not always be
Right.
Betty White and kind of
You
cut
know,
loose.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
like
thi-
that.
I don't think that was a game show per se, but I always used to love Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I
Yeah, that
love
was a great show.
Yeah.
I watched sorry, they all the old people at work always put on like game shows or like chips in the break room, but Wheel of Fortune still going, but it's not the same.
No.
Like remember you just spin the wheel and you
Mhm.
do the whatever. Now they add on all these extra little things. Like
Yeah.
there was some rat race thing where they had to like you pick a color rat and then it goes around this friggin' loop
Well,
to see if it wins.
I guess
And I
that's
was
been
like,
on so many years. They gotta try and freshen it up somehow. But there you
Yeah.
have Jeopardy, who's it's been
Yeah.
the same
same
thing.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know who's
crazy.
hosting
I was just
Jeopardy
saying,
now.
who hosts that?
I don't know.
They should just get Will Ferrell
No,
as Alex
I can't
Trebek to
remember. They were
host it.
talking about it, and I can't remember now who they said was going to do it.
yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's like a big name.
And that was one I never liked when I was younger. But I guess since I'm getting older now, I don't mind sitting and watching.
We
Yeah.
always watched it at the movie theater because it would be on when we would go in there.
All right. Well, let's get back here. So from 1983 to 1984, White had a reoccurring role playing Ellen Harper, Ellen Harper Jackson on the series Mama's Family,
I watched
alongside
that. I watched Mama.
alongside co-star Rue
McClanahan.
McClanahan. White had originally had originated this character in the series of sketches in the Carol Burnett Show in 1970s. In 1985, White scored her second signature role on the biggest hit of her career at the time, and alongside of St. Olaf, Michigan native Rose Nylund, who obviously went on to do something else with her later. The series chronicled the lives of four widowed divorced women in their golden years who shared the home in Miami, and which was then called the Golden Girls. It starred B. Arthur, Stella Getty, and Rue McClanahan. Sorry, I can't.
And Estelle Getty.
And Estelle, yeah. It was immensely successful and ran from 1985 through 1992. So this is her moneymaker. This is what got her into syndication. This is what got her like in everyone's home. You know what I mean? I called my gram up about Betty White, just like how much of Betty White, and she's like, I'm gonna be honest,
I don't know.
yeah. She goes, I didn't really watch much of Golden Girls growing up. Like Betty White wasn't super on her radar. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
people,
yeah, they've even I know Golden Girls a little bit, but I'm not a big. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
I feel like so she was doing a lot of like talk shows, live TV type of shows where your grandma was always watching like
movies.
Well, yeah,
old time
it's just like
movies,
you know,
like Gone with the
Kelly
Wind
did like
and stuff like
Supernatural,
that.
but I've only seen like 3 episodes.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So like,
Yeah.
and some people just don't watch them.
Another thing my gram said too, she was a lot of her early career and a lot of stuff she didn't get to see, like the game shows and stuff, is because my gram was an army wife.
Mhm.
So she was in Italy, she was in Germany,
Oh,
she was
mhm.
she
Whatever
was Japan.
They had on, yeah.
So she didn't get to see a lot of that. The only
Yeah.
thing she really got to see was American movies. That was her only
Right.
source of entertainment. So
Right.
a lot of like the Betty White stuff, because she wasn't super into movies.
And not only that, that's just not everybody was in it. Like I can remember going to my pap's house. We never had the Golden Girls on, but we had Flipper on. We had Lassie on. This is what I grew up with
Boy.
when I was
Yeah.
in the Dale. It was Flipper, Lassie, The Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, I think, and then
Ooh.
Gilligan's Island would come on.
Mm.
Honest
Yeah.
to God, that's what it was.
Everyone
Black
had their,
and white.
you know, yeah, it's like now people. Their
And Lost in Space was my favorite.
Yeah. White won
Angela
one Emmy
Robinson.
for
Have
outstanding actress in the comedy series for the first season of Golden Girls, and was nominated in this category every year the show's run.
Wow.
So she was and she was in the supporting actress category as well. White had a strained relationship with one of her Golden Girls co-stars, B. Arthur. On and off set, their television and show comedy, commenting that Arthur was not super fond of me, and she found me to be a pain in her neck sometimes, and it was my positive attitude that made me feel mad sometimes. Sometimes I was happy and she'd be furious. After Arthur's death in 2009, White said, I knew it would hurt. I just didn't know how much it would hurt. I didn't know it would hurt this much. Despite their differences, the Golden Girls were a positive experience for both actresses, and they had a great mutual respect for one another and their show roles, and the achievements made a great ensemble cast. So it did bother her, like that she never really liked her,
Yeah.
but a lot of it was B had a lot of her own problems,
You
and,
know,
didn't like her over
That's
positivity
how
all the
they're
time.
in the show.
Yes.
That's kind of the
You can feel
characters.
it.
Like
Yeah.
that's
You can feel it.
every
'Cause
time Rose would say something, Dorothy would
it would
be like a mean.
It would be
comment
very
back.
snide, but you
Yeah.
could feel the very, very like mean essence of that character
Mhm.
coming through, whether it was really B. Arthur or was she just
Or
in the
that was
role.
the-
She always
Oh,
looked like
yeah.
a bitch to me.
That was her
was her
job in the show.
role, yeah.
Like, even in real life, like I don't see she's bitching around.
One of the funniest things I've seen is her character. If I don't know how much Golden Girls you watch, but her character,
A lot.
Betty White's character,
She was kind of dumb.
she played.
Wasn't she from like Eastern Europe or something? Like she was.
No, the St. Olaf was from Michigan, right?
Yeah, she was from. Yeah, she,
Oh, okay.
she
But it was
was.
supposed to be like this, and I only watched clips of this over the past couple of days or weeks here since she passed. But it was like farm country.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
super not. She wasn't cultured. She kind of.
Yeah.
She only really knew what was in her small little town.
Town.
And she had like weird stories all the time.
She
Yeah.
always told weird stories.
Okay.
And there's a story. We were watching it today, and she told the story, and it got to the point where everyone on the cast broke. They were literally hiding their face. They were laughing so hard.
Because
And Betty just kept it-
tape, right?
Yeah, and Betty just kept it straight the whole time and just kept telling the story. And B. Arthur and was it Rue
Rue.
were just
Man.
dying laughing. And then once she got to the end of the story and the punchline was coming, then Betty started breaking, and then everybody was like, so the whole place was just losing their minds. But it was a
It's
fun.
such a good show.
Yeah. White was originally offered the role of Blanche in the Golden Girls, and Rue was actually offered the role of Rose. And the two characters being similar roles they have played in Mary Tyler Moore and Mary Tyler Moore and their other shows, respectively. Director of the pilot suggested that they had played similar roles in the past and they should switch roles. Rue later said in a documentary on the series, White originally had doubts about her ability to play Rose until Sanders explained to her that Rose is a terminally naive. White says if you told Rose that you were hungry, you could eat a horse, she would literally call the SPCA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she she was just super naive. Like that was like her character. And that ran until the 90s, which was a super big hit for her.
92 and 93. I think there was a spinoff. Did Empty Nest
Yeah,
spin off that?
The Golden Palace. So it was I think that maybe I don't know when.
And I think they had crossovers too.
I don't know when Dorothy died.
Yeah. So in
but
1992,
they moved on after
Arthur
her.
announced that her decision to part the series. White, McClan, and Getty reprised their roles as Rose, Blanche, and Sophia in the spin-off The Golden Palace.
I didn't see that, but I'm gonna go watch it.
Because back in the day, that when they wanted to have a new,
I think it was
show,
only like one season though.
yeah, they would have the character come on to Golden Girls, right? This new character, and they'd stay for a couple episodes, and they'd be like, "If you like this character, why don't you watch this show?"
Yeah.
So they're loosely related. They did
Oh,
that
yeah,
for a lot
It
of
was
shows.
like, and that's kind of where the idea of like they're in the same universe came.
Yeah, like then I think it was Empty Nest. I think that was the one.
Cheers did it.
And then also Perfect Strangers.
That's how you
did,
got
and
Frasier.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how you got Frasier.
Balky was related to somebody on an Earth show, and it's like, oh, it's Balky.
Yep.
It was super huge at the time.
The one for me
How
was
Xena got her own show, right?
Xena was part of
Xena,
Hercules.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hercules.
Cheers is the big one for me because I was like, when Frasier came in the bar, I was like,
I
fucking
hated
Frasier.
him in the show.
And then,
but
like,
I watched
Fra-
Frasier sometimes.
And then like Frasier's gonna get his own show. I'm like, the guy from fucking Cheers
Yeah.
bar is getting his own, and that's kind of what they did. They would introduce a character. And
I'd
then
rather watch Water Run than Frasier.
that's why I was kind of hoping
I
in the
watched
office.
it, but it wasn't as good.
In the office, they were gonna do that where they were gonna give people more.
I thought
jobs.
Dwight would have got his.
and they were supposed to make Dwight's Beat Farm
Yeah,
show,
I
and it
don't
just
know.
never
Yeah.
happened. Yeah. I wish that more shows would do that. That
Yeah,
was the rumor
spin-offs.
for Parks and Rec, where
Ron
Oh.
Swanson.
well, no,
No, Karen.
Leslie.
Karen
Oh,
was supposed to move to Indiana and start working at Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay. And then there was that
Yeah.
Ann Perkins.
Yeah, so they changed
Ann
it.
Perkins.
Ann.
Well, it works for some shows and not for
Yeah.
others. Like how many CSI, and we don't have too many of them anymore. CSIs, SVUs, how many spin-offs?
Yeah, they're all in the
yeah.
same universe.
And now it's that Chicago Med or whatever. Med
Chicago
or
Fire,
Blue.
Chicago
Chicago
PD.
Med,
whatever.
Chicago PD,
Right.
yeah.
It's
The
too much
Office
of the
and-
same.
There's one from Grey's Anatomy did that a couple
Really?
times, like the
Oh, yeah, it was private practice.
and then they did a fire one.
Yeah, and they actually had one before that too. That was in the jungle. Do you remember
Oh,
that
no,
one?
I
And it
We're
was-
saying they should do it more, and they've been doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Well,
been
well,
doing it a lot.
they didn't do it for
Yeah.
the Office and Parks and Rec, and they should have.
Yes.
Yeah.
The series was short-lived, lasting only one season. In addition, White reprised her role as Rose and the character in a guest appearance in the MB TV show Empty Nest and
See?
There
and
you go.
Nurses were both set in Miami. After the Golden Palace ended, White guest starred on numerous television programs, including Suddenly Susan, The Practice, and Yes Dear. Yes Dear is actually a really good show. She received Emmy nominations for her individual appearances and won an Emmy in '96 for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series, appearing as herself on an episode of The John Lorette Show.
She was in a
John
lot.
Larroquette.
Thank you.
He was from Night Court.
In that episode titled Here We Go Again, a parody of Sunset Boulevard, a diva like White convinces Laura Corrette, I can't say his name,
Larroquette.
to help her with her memoir.
Just
At
gonna
one,
point to Andy.
I have so much phlegm. At one point, the Golden Girls star and Getty appeared as themselves. Lara Quet, whatever, is forced
Raquette.
is forced to dress in drag as B. Arthur went on all fours and appear as public as the original cast members.
I was raised by TV, so anything 80s, 90s.
And when you pulled out Night Court, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
I do remember that show. Beer makes me phlegmy as I chug more beer. So in 2006, White joined a soap opera, The Brave and the Beautiful, or The Bold and the Beautiful.
Brave.
Bold.
The Bold and the Brave.
I was
the Brave
thinking
and the Bold.
I was thinking The Brave and the
Now,
Bold,
when
the
you get
Batman.
into soap operas, I do know The Bold and the Beautiful. That's my favorite one. It's about a half an hour long, and that's all you need.
There was one that became supernatural, and I was like, now I'm in.
Days
That was
of Our
Days
Lives.
of Our Lives.
My
They
mom
had
watched that one.
aliens.
Yeah,
Your mom,
like
your mom
possession
and
and
your
My-
dad
my
watched
Uncle
that
Charlie
one.
And people
loved
got
Days of Our
powers of, like,
Lives.
There was
Yeah.
an
This is
evil.
a good show.
There was an evil doll.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's
His
cool.
parents
Change it
both
up.
watched it, and his dad used to go, oh, like mad that his mom watched without him and stuff.
Mhm.
Really? Like, how many
Yeah.
times can you cheat on somebody? That's old.
I
Yeah,
I
that's
could
what my
never
dad
Get some
would-
follow
They
it.
ghosts
still
in there.
did that. They still.
I couldn't
Yeah,
follow it.
That's my poor dad would walk through and be like, "What are you watching the horror show again?"
Get some aliens and
I would like catch one episode, and then like a week later, I'm like, I thought that person died last week. I don't understand.
That's like
I can't.
Baywatch nights.
So
Hey, I liked Baywatch when I was younger.
so she was on
I'll
that
watch
show for
Baywatch.
22 appearances, and the long lost mother of the show is Maritrich, Stephanie
Matriarch?
Forrester.
Matriarch.
Matriarch,
It's
sorry.
Stephanie Forrester.
There you go.
Yep.
Susan Flannery. She also became a recurring role in the ABC TV show Boston Legal from 2005 to 2008 as a calculating, blackmailing gossip manager, Catherine Piper. And she originally played as a guest star on
I
The
forgot she
Practice
was
in
on
2004. She obviously appeared several times on talk shows with Jay Leno, Craig Ferguson, Oprah Winfrey, and Pet Med Express. Now this is where Betty White is reborn and launched into
As
another
like
stratosphere.
Like an internet sensation. Not internet. I don't know, but like a not. It's
No,
from
even-
internet. She becomes like
Are
a
you going to be talking about Hot in Cleveland?
no,
like a pop
Okay.
culture.
this
thing.
this is where she becomes a pop culture icon, and
Yeah.
people really start giving her roses.
SNL.
No, in 2009, a movie she was initially announced to do, or she asked to do, and she turned it down because she said at the time her dog was getting old. She didn't want to leave her dog.
Oh,
But they convinced her to do it because of the cast in it and the two people she'd be working with. She was
I
in
think
the
I know what-
romantic comedy The
Oh.
The
Proposal,
Proposal.
The proposal,
I
yeah.
remember this.
alongside
That's a
of
good
Sandra
movie.
It
Bullock
was a
and
good
Ryan
movie.
Reynolds.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah.
It's
You'd hate
fucking
It's
it.
a romantic
Yeah.
comedy,
It's
so you
fucking
probably
hilarious.
It's a great
it's
movie.
it's
It
good.
is
but
hilarious.
You'd probably hate it.
Ryan. I forget the whole dynamic between Ryan and Sandra.
So she's the boss.
Go ahead.
And
She's getting deported.
she's like Canadian or something.
She's
so
She's
hot.
gonna
Sandra
get
Bullock is hot.
deported. And
Is she Speed?
what he's going, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Ryan Reynolds could do
Um,
better.
he's
She look
going
good-
to
she look
visit
good in that
family or something. Is she blackmails him? I can't remember. She gets
blackmails
him to like
into
marrying
her
so that she
just
doesn't
just
lose
can
her.
stay because
Yeah.
he has nobody and like lives he's a
Yeah.
loner and stuff and
Yeah.
she doesn't really want anybody but she wants to stay so she's like, well, you're gonna marry me basically.
yeah.
So
to
he
get
takes-
ahead because he was like trying to like move up
Yeah.
the company and she's
Yeah.
like, well, marry me and I'll make you partner or something like that.
right
Yeah.
something like that and then he takes her home to
His
his family
family.
in Alaska, I think, was it?
Yeah.
and Betty was the grandmother with was it her dog on the show then too?
Yes.
Did she get
Boy.
to take
Mhm.
and then there's
Oh,
one
cute.
scene of the hawk or the
The
eagle
hawk
takes
takes the dog.
Well, no, the dog that she had was a golden retriever.
Oh,
okay.
this
Yeah.
is like a little
This was like
fluffy
pom
one.
pom, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Take
Pomeranian.
this movie, center it around December. Hallmark movie.
It is very hardmarking, but the comedy is actually
it's funny.
It's
yeah.
really funny.
So there's
though.
a
She's
scene.
actually pretty raunchy in it too, if I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
remember correctly.
good. Yeah, she's super raunchy, which is like, oh my god, Betty White's like talking about
Yeah.
boobs
Like
and
when
sex,
Bob
Yeah,
Saget's a filthy.
She's touching Sandra
Sandra's
Bullock.
boobs.
She's like,
and she's like, "Where are your
there's
boobs?"
boobs
She's like, we can
somewhere
take it
there.
in. We can find your boobs. or
Yeah.
something.
Well, the scene, she's like a shaman, and she tells Sandra Bullock to come down and do a chant,
yeah.
and she's chanting, and Sandra Bullock just
She's
gets
like,
in the
whatever
moment,
you feel, just
and she
chant
starts
whatever.
she starts singing from the window to the wall, to the
Oh,
sweat
oh.
dripped off my, and she's screaming, "You scared? You scared?" And Betty White's got, "Are you scared? You scared?" And they're just
What
dancing.
year was this?
2009.
I didn't think it was that.
No,
old.
Yeah, I
no
didn't either.
memory at
Yeah, so
all.
Betty White is literally saying "sweat drip off my balls"
Yeah.
and the whole nine, and then Ryan Reynolds' character walks up and goes, "What are you doing with my grandmother?"
Yeah.
She goes, "I was just feeling the beat. I just whatever came to your mind." She goes, "And balls came to your mind with my grandmother." Like, it's a really funny.
It's really good.
They had
Yeah.
a good dynamic between each
Yeah.
other, her and Sandra. So
Mhm. Also in 2009, a candy company, Mars Incorporated,
Yep.
launched their global
This is
campaign for
another
their
thing I can remember
Snickers
the
bar.
most.
Mhm.
And
She wrote about that
and
in
the
the
slogan was, "You're not hungry. You're not you when you're hungry."
Mhm.
And White appeared alongside of Abe. Whatever.
Pagoda.
Yeah, thank you. And the candy commercial was just supposed to be a football thing. And
It was
here
a Super Bowl.
it
It
aired
was a Super Bowl.
as it wasn't technically shot to be a Super Bowl commercial.
Oh.
It was just them playing football, and then it was like,
Oh, yeah.
and then it aired not just on the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
but it was aired as the first commercial of the Super Bowl.
They were
and it was
playing football in
Yeah.
the commercial because she talks about that in the book, and she said the girl that played her stunt double
Yeah, the
basically because she
tackle.
got tackled,
yeah,
and she's like, so she took the hit, and then I just had to go lay in the mud
Yep.
and get out.
yeah. So the commercial was they're playing football.
I vaguely remember.
Yes.
and
yeah,
Betty
it's a
White's
Snickers.
running a route, and she's Betty White, so
Yeah.
she can't. And then she goes to catch the ball and gets smashed. She goes
That's
back to
funny.
the huddle, and he goes, "You're playing like Betty White out there."
Mike.
And she goes, "You shut your mouth," or something like that, or something comes up like,
Can't remember.
The
Yeah.
girlfriend.
your
The
girl-
girlfriend comes up with a Snickers and is like,
"Well,
Mike,
no."
you're not.
There's a line where it's like you're playing like a girl or your girlfriend. And goes, "Your girlfriend didn't complain last night." Like, so Betty White's like throwing
Yeah.
like jabs at him, and then she eats the Snicker
Yeah,
bar, and the guy
that's
comes
good,
back
yeah.
to himself. Yes. Well, that campaign was huge because there was actually, we're getting too far ahead of ourselves here. Actually, no, we're not. Following the success of the Snickers ad, there was a grassroots campaign on Facebook called Betty White to Halt SNL Please. And it began
Oh,
in
yeah.
January 2010. And the group was approaching 500,000 members. While the NBC confirmed in March 11th, 2010, that Betty White would in fact host Saturday Night
Funny
Live.
she
She
wasn't
turned it
on.
down a lot.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
she
good.
didn't
turned them-
want to.
Yeah, she didn't want to do it.
She said, she didn't think she could do it.
Oh.
And then
Because
when,
they read off like teleprompters and like cards and stuff, and she's like,
Not
I
her
can't,
style.
or not teleprompters, like cards, because she was like, I can't do that. Like, you're not staring at, like, you're trying to look all over, and people notice that.
yeah.
She's like, they can see your eyes moving, and
Right.
she didn't want to do that. She was afraid
Right.
it wouldn't be good.
And she's also at this point in time, she's up there in age, and
Yeah.
and SNL is not an easy show to
No.
do.
No.
That's very demanding. Like
Yeah.
that's why I get like upset when people are like
They
SNL.
practiced it all week too.
SNL
Yeah.
fucking sucks now. It's like it doesn't like if you go back and watch even the best cast of SNL, there's some fucking stinker episodes, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some skits in it with
Or-
even the best of the best, and they're
Just
like
bomb.
this skit bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think people always just see the bomb skits and they don't see the like. And the good ones don't shine through as much as
Yeah.
they should.
Yeah.
Like there's times where I still watch SNL and I fucking love it.
I haven't
Like,
watched it in years.
Yeah.
No, I haven't either.
Years and years.
I
Um,
never really watched it. Like,
But she then hosted SNL on May 8th. The appearance made her at the age of 88 years old, and she was the oldest person to host SNL, beating Michelle Spillman and the winner of
That
SNL.
one I can't even.
And the winner of SNL's Anybody Can Host contest, who was 80, and she hosted in 1977. In her opening monologue, White thanked Facebook and joked that she didn't even know what Facebook was. And now I do know what it is. I have to say it may sound like a huge waste of time. Oh, she goes, yes, I don't know what Facebook was, but now I do, and it sounds like a huge waste of time.
She ain't wrong.
Yeah, the appearance earned her a 2010 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actress in a Comedy Series once again. In 2010, she took on the role of Elka Ostrowski in TV Land's original sitcom Hot in Cleveland. I remember this being really popular. I've never
Yeah,
watched
I
it.
Yeah, it was a good
watched
show.
when it first came out.
Never watched it
I
because it was
didn't
on
finish it,
Lifetime or
but-
something. And I
TV
just,
Land.
or was it
Okay.
TV
Yeah.
Land? Okay. I
I
avoided
didn't
those
finish
channels
it,
like
but
the
I
plague.
watched it like in the beginning when it first came out. I was real excited about it, and it's funny because it kind of like reminds you of Golden Girls, except
Mhm.
she's like the old lady, and the other
Right.
girls are like younger, and she's always like saying funny things. And,
Yeah,
like,
I
it's-
did see today she wasn't supposed to be on that show as a regular. She
Mhm.
was just a one-time thing, supposed to
Yeah.
be like the pilot episode, and that was it.
Yeah, she's
But
supposed to do this pilot and stayed on for the
Yeah,
entire series.
People loved her so much they brought her on as a regular throughout
Yeah.
the whole show because her intro was like the girls go into that house and they're like, oh, why does it smell like pot in here? Is it just me?
Yeah.
And she walks it out and like, what's it to you? You're a cop? And they're like, no. And she said, well, what does it matter then? Like,
yeah. And are you going more into that? Or?
No, I was just looking at something.
Oh, because I was
um,
gonna say like the co-stars are pretty like.
Yeah, so it ran her for a total of 6 seasons and a total of
I didn't know it was that
128
many.
episodes,
Wow.
and
I
yeah, it
didn't know.
ended in 2015.
I
one-
never heard of it.
the one
So-
co-star was
It's
the
Valerie Bertinelli,
Yeah.
who was married to Eddie Van Halen.
Still hot.
I don't know about that
I wrote
one.
them down.
was
I think she's pretty hot.
Yeah.
Jane Levy's.
Jane
Yeah, she
Levy,
got a
who
little bit of
was
weight.
Daphne from Frasier, and
hot.
Wendy Malick,
I
who
think
was in. She was in a lot of stuff. I couldn't find.
I think
like,
she's the one
main
that was
thing.
in Arrested Development as the
Okay.
mom, and she was also Archer. She voiced Archer's mom in the
Okay.
cartoon Archer,
Yeah, she
which
did
I
a
loved.
lot. I was
Okay.
trying to find like one main thing, but there was a lot of
Mallory.
just random.
She's in
I think
Bill Murray's
Mallory
Scrooge.
Archer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she played like random characters. She was in a lot and a lot of like voice stuff, which I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah, she was.
Mad
she
About
voiced
You.
Mallory
Just
Archer.
Shoot Me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just
I feel like
Shoot
she
Me.
was
Oh my
in.
God, I
She was in
remember that.
And
Entourage.
Valerie Bertinelli was in a lot of stuff too, just like not as mainstream, I guess.
Yeah,
Like maybe like Lifetime Hallmark type of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know who she is now.
But her main thing was like she was married to Eddie Van
She's Archer's
Halen.
mom.
Because I even asked my mom, I was like, "Do you know who?"
They even
Valerie
drew her that
Bertinelli
way.
is?" And she's like, "She was married to a famous singer."
Yeah. White also starred in the Hallmark.
She was the shorter one out of the bunch.
Yeah.
like Valerie Bertinelli or whatever.
Yeah.
She starred in the Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation of Lost Valentine in January 30th, 2011. She.
Jennifer
I'm
Love
just
Hewitt.
gonna go through. She was in Betty White's Off Their Rockers, which was like a practical joke show. And she
2014, she guest hosted Raw when they had that.
Mhm.
She did a segment with the Bella Twins and with the New Age Outlaws.
yeah,
She was in Lake Placid. She killed her husband,
Nope.
fed him to the alligator.
she made a guest appearance in Lake Placid.
What was that? Was the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
The
I must
very
have been
first one.
asleep. Yeah,
She's
I
just
took
in
Mom
it,
to
and
see
like
that. I didn't want to.
her husband dies, and they just think he like disappeared, and then they come back later.
What's the name of
'cause
your
they
book?
find out. Oh, if you ask
Yeah.
me, and of course you won't.
So Betty
I'm like
White's
a little more than halfway through. I was
her
trying to
her
finish it,
success
but-
continued in 2011 with her first Grammy award winner for best spoken world record for her best selling "If You Ask Me" book.
It's good.
She was on
I
the
like it.
she was roasted at the New York Friars Club on a special Betty White 90th birthday party that aired on NBC
Yeah.
before her birthday in January 16, 2012. She
She did
worked.
a lot of stuff.
I miss those roasts. I guess you can't really do them.
No,
nowadays.
I think
Unless they're
you
not
can't,
on
you can't
TV.
make jokes anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Not like that.
not,
like that,
that.
She made an appearance on Saturday Night Live when she attended their 40th anniversary special. I believe that was I thought that was the episode where it was like mostly all the women. I could be wrong
I
though.
don't know.
In August 18, 2018, she was celebrated for a PBS documentary called Betty White, the First Lady of Television, which is really big. 2019, she appeared in Pixar's Toy Story 4, proving the voice of Bitney White, a toy tiger. I actually have never seen Toy Story 4.
I don't know if I
Oh.
saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
I seen the first one.
Yeah, I seen
We
the
have
first
it.
one. Maybe
The last
second
one I seen was with the pink
that
bear.
was
I
it.
didn't see the one.
Toy Story 3.
Yeah, I didn't see the next
4
one.
also had Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah, he was Duke Kaboom,
Yeah.
Canadian stunt guy who was supposed to be like Evil Knievel.
It's not.
Maybe I did watch
it's
that
not
one.
on here, but she was also on the roast. I forget whose roast it was, but she did a roast. She was part of a roast on Comedy Central, and she went up and did some raunchy jokes, and people were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, so she was very self aware that she was like considered pure, but then she
Well,
would throw a
was
zinger out there.
typecast a lot
Yeah.
because they were talking about that too. Like in the book, she was typecasted a lot as like the quiet, innocent, like
Nice
naive.
old grandma
And there was one
aunt.
of the shows she did. She played like I can't remember what they called her in the show, where she just kind of like she was like a housewife or like she lives alone or something, but she would just go do whatever.
And she
sleep
said,
with whoever
goes,
she wanted.
She goes,
do
I'm not.
whatever.
She's not. I'm not. She goes, I'm not opposed to eating sweets and drinking booze. You just can't do it in an accession. You have to do it. You have to be responsible with it. So like,
Yeah.
there's her co-stars would be like, yeah, we would hang out and we'd stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning drinking whiskey all night.
Yeah.
One of the, some interview she did, I can't even
David
remember. I should have
Letterman.
made notes because I can't remember. They said, well, what haven't you done yet that you want to do? And it was one big
Robert
name.
Redford.
That's who it was.
She wanted to date Robert Redford.
Oh.
She just said that, and then I guess he must have heard about it and wrote her a letter, like a poem and a letter. She's like, you probably want to hear it, but I'm not going to read it to you.
Yeah,
And like he wrote her this letter. And
they
stuff.
never actually met up.
Yeah.
And then after she passed away, he's like, it was my greatest thing that I never got a chance to meet her. But
I didn't know he was still.
and he was
I
like,
know.
but I have to say, I had a crush on her too.
Because he was
Yeah.
big in like the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah. After her husband, there was no other man in this world that can meet up to her husband except Robert Redford.
Robert Redford, was he Easy Rider or was he Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Which counts? But the book is good because it's like quick. It's not like a full thing. They split it up by like little, like what do you want to call it? Topics, and then she'll just say like she talks about it for like two pages or whatever. but there's a lot of pictures, which is cool, and like some of them are like from stuff she did, and then some of them are like her own private pictures.
He was
Like,
Bush
it's cool.
Cassidy.
Another crazy story is she worked eventually on a show or
and
something
then
with
he was
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
That was the
And-
movie you were talking about, the Lost Valentine movie.
Yeah, and she
The
became
show where she
really
talks to ghosts.
well. No, it was that Hallmark one, the
That's the
Valentine's
Ghost
one,
Whisperer.
and she became like super close with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Like Jennifer Love Hewitt got her a necklace, like
Oh,
a
wow.
Tiffany's necklace, and Betty White wore it to the day she died.
Wow.
Like she died wearing that necklace. So if you ever see a photo, actually our promo photo that we
Mhm.
use of Betty
Mhm.
White, she's wearing a heart necklace. And Jennifer Love Hewitt, like till the day
okay.
she died, she always had my heart.
Oh, this is the one you were talking about with all the women, I think.
Yeah, there was an SNL set episode where it was like mostly, I think it was a Mother's Day episode or something. And it was all featured of the mother, like all women in television, and every woman, like even past cast members came back.
Tina Fey
Tina Fey all came back because Betty White was there.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Poland.
Yeah, there's a lot of pictures. She's a lot of pets.
Oh, she was super into animals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
She
her.
was a big animal advocate. Like her other book I know was Betty White and Friends. It was all about like her love for animals and the
Yeah.
zoos and stuff.
Yeah, White was the recipient of the Pacific Pioneer Broadcasters and Golden Ike Award.
Forest
Um,
Ranger.
Yeah.
She's an honorary forest
Well-
ranger. Did we say that?
She was the American Veterinary Medical Association Award with her Humane Award in 1987 and her charitable work with animals. Yeah, she was really into animals.
She just done a before she passed, I guess a couple months ago, and they started airing it now. She done an advertisement for the National Park Service too.
Oh, nice.
So she's honorary with like Smokey the Bear and
Yeah,
stuff.
That's
so.
what she was talking about in here when they gave it to her. Like she was in front of a big Smokey the Bear,
Bear.
like thing. And all
There's a photo I showed her where she's like sitting with
Kissing
like 1,000-pound bear.
Bear. Yeah, I've
giving a
seen
kiss,
that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it in a heartbeat.
mean,
On the morning of
Especially if you're like in your 90s. Fuck, well,
I'd do it.
bear kills you. Oh,
I got
you're in your
close.
Could you,
90s.
could you
You know?
imagine if Betty White got mauled on
Yeah.
camera by a bear? Oh my!
What if she's like, hey, so it's the way I want to go.
I'm sure they have it. Like
Yeah,
hanging
sedate
on-
it or something.
Yeah, sedate
Well,
it.
I was in the Smoky Mountains there at Cades Cove, one of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah.
And I got from like me to the camera away to one.
Wow.
I wasn't
That's-
scared. I had my zoom camera.
Yeah.
I was right up against it. Sam, in the meantime, he's in the middle of the road screaming, "Get back! You're not drunk, you crazy bitch!"
But they were saying like where she used to go on vacation when she was a kid. So they used to go, they would literally, like she said, the last half day of school, like she would know her dad would pull up and they would go and they would take like horses or whatever.
She was the only child too, by the way.
No,
Yeah. They would like go out to
Fellow only child?
wherever this place was and they would drop her off. They put bells on the horses and let them go and let them run. And they would literally just live out in the woods for like a week
Yeah.
or two. I can't remember. And then they would like go back.
Well, on
Pretty
the morning of December 31st, 2021, 7 days before her 100th birthday,
17 days.
17 days,
Yeah.
I said, didn't
no,
I?
you said
Seven.
7.
No,
Sorry,
you said
17
seven.
days
Well,
before
okay.
plus
her
10.
100th birthday. White passed away in her sleep in her home in
Mhm.
Redford, neighborhood, Los Angeles, from a stroke she had on Christmas Day. So she did have a stroke a week before she passed away, and then they think the stroke in her sleep.
Yeah, well, especially at that age.
Yeah.
Her remains were cremated and given to Glenn Kaplan, who was the entrusted with carrying out her advanced health and her directive. White's death was met with the statements of sympathy and tribute from many people in the organization. The United States Army released a statement as White had volunteered for the American Women's Voluntary Services Award during World War II. Additionally, Martin Luther King centered tweets their condolences and praise for Betty White for her early support in racial equality. In addition to tributes of numerous new media organizations, celebrities, political commentators, sports teams, musicians, politicians, and other public figures, White's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was flooded with flowers and tributes within hours of announcement of her death. Yeah. It's crazy that someone lives to be 99 years old and the world says it was too soon.
Too soon.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
So she never ended up having any children then.
I
No,
don't think
she
so.
just
Wow.
her husband had 3 previous.
So she had 3 stepchildren, but
Yeah.
none of her own.
Yeah. Like I said, they're super into
She was just such a-
animal welfare was her
Yeah.
big thing. Opposing racial justice,
Yeah.
LGBT rights was huge for her.
Mhm.
She
I seen a clip where she's talking to, I don't know if it was Letterman or who, and she said, the Golden Girls were so popular at all the gay bars at 9 o'clock. the music would stop and everybody would watch Golden Girls for, I guess it was a half an hour show.
Yeah.
And then the music would turn back on at 9:30.
Yeah.
They would resume, but they had to watch
There-
Golden Girls.
There is a video online, I guess, on her birthday. They did a live Busted Open. Busted Open is a professional wrestling show podcast on Sirius XM with Dave LaGreca.
Mhm.
My dear friend Dave LaGreca. We're Facebook friends. And Mark Henry were doing a live show. And to close the show, the entire place played the Golden Girls song. And Dave LaGreca and Mark Henry sang the theme song to a bar of 100, I think hundreds of people who all sang along with them for Betty White. Yeah, she was a legend, man. It goes to show that Betty White is one of those people where it is okay to break down those barriers and not follow into those tropes of being just not a genuine and not just a good person.
Mhm.
There's not one person except B. Arthur on this planet who has anything negative to say about her. And the only thing
And
B.
she's
Arthur
dead.
and the only thing B. Arthur had negative to say about her, she was too positive all the
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
you know,
It's
what I'm
what-
saying?
I can
isn't a
see how
bad
people
thing.
like not like that.
Yeah. Just being good is not a negative connotation.
No.
She lived to be almost 100 years old, and the world was saying she should have been around for another 100. It's awesome, man.
What did she say in her last interview? They asked her because like how would you live this old? And she's like, I avoid anything that's green or something like
Yeah,
that. Like
she-
she just
She was a badass, man, and she just stayed true to who she was. She always stayed humble. She stayed grateful for every opportunity she had. She worked her ass off up until the day she died. She was asking her agent what's her next thing she's gonna do. She just, I don't know, man. She's someone that you should definitely. This podcast should only just get you started with her. Go find her book. Go find documentaries. Go back and watch the Golden Girls. Just study more about her because it's something that you should inspire to live your life like her. I mean, truly. Yeah, obviously women didn't have it great in this country for a very long time. She overcame those odds. And even being a white woman in America who probably had it way better than most people at that time, even though it was kind of shitty, she still stood up for people who were gay and racial equality, as well as animals. And she wasn't afraid to go to those wars. You know, she spoke up. She spoke up for all that stuff. And
she turned down a show because I can't remember what it was. They wanted her to be on it or in a movie. It was a movie. And in the movie, they threw a dog down a elevator
God.
chute. It was like a comedy thing. And she's like, I will not do that.
No.
She would not. Like, she literally
didn't
turned
one
it
of the
down.
Hangovers, like the dog. Oh, the one with Robert Downey Jr. and
I don't know.
Due Date.
with the dog. The
Oh,
dog.
Due
Due date.
The dog
yeah.
Yeah.
ran out of the elevator and then
It was it wasn't that one though, but it was something else. But she said no because they
No.
wouldn't change it. And she's like, I won't even being like a comedic thing. And obviously it's not real.
Yeah,
She's like, I'm not going to do
Due
that.
Date was
No.
pretty good.
that was a funny movie.
Well, she was like, I won't condone that or anything, even though it's fake. Like,
Yeah, she's dope, man. She was awesome. Do yourself a favor when you're going to bed tonight and you're messing around your phone instead of scrolling through Facebook. Go on YouTube and just type Betty White in. Go look at some of those SNL skits.
Yeah.
There's a few
that
that we
was good.
watched today.
that was the picture that she used in here too, the one we watched today.
There's a skit where her and Keenan from All That and Good Burger. They did a Scared Straight skit, and she was the prisoner who came in
That's
and
funny.
her hair's all frizzed out and she's what was it?
Grandmama,
Grandmama-
I can't remember.
Granny Apple Smith or something. It was Grandma McIntosh.
Something like that, yeah.
Macintosh.
So
yeah.
it was a play on an apple, on a
Yeah.
type of
Something like
apple.
that. I
Yeah,
can't remember.
and she goes up and she has to attack Bill Hader, and she grabs him and she just gives him a little punch, and then she realized she didn't do it hard enough. She gives him another one, and then someone throws a shoe at her, and it hits Bill Hader but lands on her, and she just improv grabs the shoe and just tries to throw it as hard as she can, but she only softball throws it, but it's just her acting like a prison gang. And she's like,
Yeah.
in your ass, like the whole thing was how they're gonna get
Yeah. Right.
the R word. I don't know what but and she's making these jokes like prison rape jokes,
Yeah.
and it's fucking Betty White.
Yeah.
Then
She's
there's
trying to beat him up, but she's just like,
she's just throwing little tiny jabs.
Anytime an old person talks filthy, it's pretty good.
Oh, and she was amazing at it. Then there was another one. Speaking of old people talking filthy, the podcast or NPR radio show where the two ladies and they talk and they're
Oh, the delicious dish.
delicious dish, and she slides over and she goes, "If there's anything I'm known for in my life, it's my muffin." And she has her and
They always would do sexual,
yeah,
but
and
two girls don't know that they're saying like when Alec Baldwin had a sweaty ball.
yeah, sweaty balls, and her whole thing was her muffin is still very moist after all these years. And,
That's funny.
yeah,
Oh,
my
let's
God.
see the muffin. What's the recipe?
yeah, and they're trying not to break because Betty White's talking about her muffin and how she's very known for her muffin over the years. And just do yourself a favor, check Betty White stuff out. She's amazing. Go watch Proposal, fun movie. Actually, go watch
Proposal
Proposal.
was really
It's really
good.
fun.
Yeah,
You'll
that
like
Yeah,
it.
was
Proposal's
good.
really good.
If you like Due Date, you'll like Proposal.
Yeah.
No,
Ryan
No.
Reynolds is
You
very.
No.
If you like Ryan Reynolds, you'll like it.
no,
I think you would.
no, I wouldn't.
Ryan Reynolds is the same guy in every movie.
Yeah, but doesn't mean the movie's good.
Well,
I think
we
you'll find him
it's
funny.
good.
If the whole
I
thing
think
was
it's a
funny.
good movie.
I got
Yeah.
no
It's
time
a
for
funny
that.
movie.
I got no time for that.
All right. Well, let's go around. I feel bad. Anthony's been sitting there on camera the whole time, just kind of staring at us. Anthony, you go first. So what you're into right now and your plugs.
So what I've been doing right now, I've been playing through the Sly Cooper franchise on PlayStation Now because I decided to resubscribe to it. I was like, what's on here again? And it was like Sly Cooper, Batman Arkham Origins. I've been playing again. So it's a lot of like PlayStation 3 and like PlayStation 2 classics I've been trying to go back and play again.
I never played the Sly Coopers. They look fun. I have one. I
I-
have two. I think.
I was a
Never
huge
played.
Jack and Dexter fan. I love Jack.
I
and
never
Dexter.
played those either.
Yeah, they were good.
My plugs would be for this Friday. There is a new character coming to Power Rangers Legacy Wars. It is the Green Zeo Ranger. So if you want to play the game with that character, he'll be available on Friday, and he should be able to be bought throughout the whole weekend.
Awesome. We have one more plug.
Your new business.
Your new business.
Oh, Cabana Entertainment. Go check out the page, follow, like, subscribe, do whatever you want to do.
So what exactly is Cabana Entertainment? Take us through it a little bit here.
Well, from my side, it's going to be like gameplay stuff where I'm going to invite like people from different shows, like from Not Cool in High School, or even just me and my brother doing like gameplay stuff, or like even VR type stuff to have a bunch of fun. There's going to be photography stuff, a bunch of. I think we talked about we might want to do a game show or something
Yeah.
at one point.
It's going to be a complete media entertainment building. So there's going to be photography sessions. So if you want to get some photography done, if you want to shoot some videos, if you're a local band who wants to get something filmed or promo fit photos or anything like that, you will have the opportunity to do some game streaming stuff with Anthony. It's going to be a completely media building, and we may even be doing some podcasts here and there and doing some fun things. So yeah, it's a cool thing. Check out Cabana Entertainment on Facebook right now, and I believe there's a YouTube channel. Once I get the link tree, it will be added to our link tree links for Not Cool in High School as well as the IWEP network.
And what is behind you would be over your right shoulder? It looks like Ninja Turtles from here. It's figures of some
Turtle?
sort.
What?
Let's
Oh, figures?
Yeah,
see
turn around.
Gizmo.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
it's
see
Nikolai-
with Chucky.
It's Nikolai's mystery minis and like
Horror
okay.
mystery.
I
minis,
see
yeah.
Gizmo. Yeah,
yeah,
Chucky.
there's a big Gizmo, Chucky, some of
I
his
can't see
Lego
any of my glasses.
mystery minis. He has like Slimer up there, Elvira, Ghostface, a bunch of like horror stuff on there.
There, the girl chipmunk from Rescue Rangers is right there.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh, I
good.
love
pretty good with
Rescue
the eyes.
Rangers.
There you go. Andy, what do you got to what have you been into? What do you want to plug? By the way, great shirt.
Yeah, I know. How about I bought this at Target? I think one time. It's X-Men shirt. It's all over. Had it for many years.
Pretty dope. I like it.
90s X-Men. So Pokemon Shining Pearl. Right, brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I have the Pearl one. It's very good. It's Pokemon, so if you played one, you played them all.
Yeah.
I-
Well, this is a reboot of an old one.
Yeah, and they made like little chibi stuff. So like when you go into your battles, it's fully 3D and stuff. But, it's fun. Over 30 hours already. It's
Wow.
been Pokemon. Yeah. But I have kind of shitty Pokemon. I picked the grass Pokemon. I don't like it. It turns into a turtle with a fucking tree on its back.
Oh, Turtwig.
Yeah, Turtwig. I don't like it at all. Wish I would have picked the fire one.
I went with Piplup, to be honest.
Oh, okay. And then I found the
Piplup.
a lightning dog, Luxio. I've been using Luxio and Girafarig. It's half giraffe and it has like a chomp on its tail.
It took me a second.
Yeah. I beat Halo because I didn't talk about that. So let's beat Halo Infinite.
I've been working
The
on
story's
it.
good. It's not gonna blow you away, but you're gonna watch it. That was a good story.
I'm doing all of the side things.
I did every single one,
and holy,
except I didn't find all the
some of
lockers.
those fucking things. pissing me off.
Which one?
Like we have to fight the main guy who has a special gun,
Oh, they're hard. Yeah,
and you run out of fucking ammo, and you're fucking. Oh, it drives me crazy.
There was one I was stuck where he turns invisible. I was on the rock, and I kept hiding, and I would run out, grab a gun, use it all, and then I'd have nothing. So it's like I was totally out. And then I'd like run away and grab like a ghost and come back. I'm like,
Yeah, if you can get in there with a ghost, you can do some damage. But that,
I did all of them. But then you get named gun. Well, not named guns, special guns. I guess they are named. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I like Halo.
it's fucking frustrating sometimes. But it's really
It was a lot of
it's
fun.
good. Yeah,
I would like to play the co-op to see how that works.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was made because you know how the base, there's 4 places to get weapons. Well, you're only one person. Why would you need 4 places?
yeah.
So will you ever get 4 players? I don't know. Maybe
I think
2.
it will.
Maybe eventually.
Yeah.
But,
I think it'd be fun if the show, like me, you, Anthony, and
Yeah.
I all played Halo.
I wonder who
together.
you play as. Like,
I think there's all
Palette
different.
swap Master Chief.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm Blue Master Chief.
Yeah,
Like I want to be Arbiter or something, or even human, you know, or I don't know something.
the Marines.
Yeah, just let me be you know what's funny though? When you drop a vehicle and the Marine's standing there, and it's like incoming. Oh, they just die. It's like
just get a warthog drop in their head.
they drop and they just give them.
Yeah, but they don't
"Oh."
die. I think you said that on the last one. They just kind of pop right back
Sometimes
up.
they kind of die, like they disappear, like they fall down, they're just gone.
Yeah,
There's some glitches, but other than that, it was a really good game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I read got caught up in some comics. Thor has been very good, and they revealed, and spoilers for anyone who cares, Mjolnir is its own thing, and someone like his Thor has been. To sum it up, Thor's having trouble picking up Mjolnir. It's getting heavier and heavier. And
he's got a little
how he can
hammer
use it.
problems.
Yeah, and other people are picking up Mjolnir, and he doesn't know what's going on. It turns out Mjolnir was created, blah 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 blah, and it's its own thing. It's its own like feminine lightning thing. So you find that
I thought it was made out of like lunar.
Well,
lunar
the
something.
dwarves of Nidval are made it.
So even
the Marvel
hammer's
one's different.
the hammer's a little
Yes,
picky bitch.
the hammer's alive, and now Thor has to go and get the hammer back. And it's pretty cool. Also, Nightwing has been really good. Tom Taylor wrote that. As I said, the Superman
Number
Son
one
of
comic
Kal-
for a little bit there.
Yeah, it's very good. So the first trade is out if you want to check it out. Tom Taylor's run. I believe it's Nightwing Into the Light.
Yeah.
Right. The last issue was one image, right? So it's like the first page, last page is just one connected image, and like Nightwing has to go through. There's one little part where it's like, well, I don't know if that connects. But anyway, like the whole issue. So it was really cool how they did that. And then I read One Star Squadron by DC. And it's about Red Tornado and a bunch of really Z-list characters. And it's like, what do you do when you're done being a hero? Because like no one wants these people because they're kind of lame. So they have an agency. It's called like they have an app, and it's like Heroes for You with a Z. And like you can hire a hero to do odd jobs, like get groceries for you or cut your grass or birthday parties. And then they have a telemarketing thing, and it's all the lame heroes like Minuteman who takes a pill and he has powers.
Nobody wants to do that.
He has powers for a minute. So he's like the joke of it. So I was like, yeah. It's all the lame characters, like the hecklers there. It's all Z-listers, but it's really good. And Red Tornado, and then Power Girl's there. She's like the most famous, and she's trying to take over the corporation because she thinks Red Tornado's not running right. It's like 2 issues. It's really good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
One Star Squadron by DC Comics.
If you're into the DC comics and you're into DC stuff, HBO Max just released their newest
Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
Didn't get to watch it yet.
And their newest animated series, just their animated movie, Injustice,
Oh,
just dropped on HBO Max.
yeah. I heard that wasn't. A lot of people were a little unhappy with it. It doesn't follow the comic.
I seen someone who watched it and never read the comic and
Yeah.
said he really enjoyed it. But if you're a big comic, like I think a lot of them, they don't do everything from the comics. They want to mix it up a little bit. I have to watch it.
Some is good. I can't say I didn't watch it. The game was great. The comic was pretty good. And also, I watched all the episodes of Book of Boba Fett so far. First
cool.
I was like, for the first episode, I was like, I was like, little tongue in cheek, little goofy. Takes off his helmet too much. That's my one qualm. I want to see Boba Fett with his fucking helmet on.
That's what the actor has to take the helmet off so you
I
can see
hate
their
that.
fucking face.
What's his name?
Will Smith.
No,
Pedro Pascal.
yeah, Pedro Pascal took his helmet off once in 2 seasons of The Mandalorian.
Yep.
Once. He
Yep.
said, I'll wear that fucking helmet. I'm like, you wear that fucking helmet.
Yeah.
You getting the money? You wear the fucking helmet.
Yeah, Will Smith has Deadshot. Every
Yeah,
30
I know.
seconds he had to take his fucking helmet off.
I don't. Yeah. and the
Or
same-
like when Power Rangers or Iron Man, I flip it
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
I have to talk.
it's like no, you don't.
Keep the fucking helmet.
But other than that, it's pretty good. The second episode was really good, and then the third episode was pretty good. And they introduced a all black Wookiee, like Black Surface or something his name is, and I have the comic. His first appearance is Darth Vader 1, which came out like I don't know 2014, and I jumped up in price. I was like, oh no, it's a first appearance, and now like everyone's buying the Darth Vader comics. So like, who's gonna show up in Boba Fett? But it is good. It's not as good as Mandalorian. People are like, well, you didn't
Is
watch it all.
Boba
But
Fett timeline wise? Where are we at?
it's after Return of the Jedi, but Rey didn't happen yet.
Okay.
So Return of the Jedi, the old,
So Vader's dead.
yes.
Okay.
He dies at the end of Jedi.
So it's in
Rey
between-
And what's his name? I can't think of the guy.
Kylo.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. They're
They're
born.
not even. Yeah, but they're
Well, they might be. I don't know. Maybe they're not born.
because I think there was like 100-year gap between that, right? Because all the
No.
Jedi's were kind of disappeared for a while.
I don't know how long the timeline is.
Not 100, because then Luke Skywalker's still alive.
Yeah, but I mean, the Force powers. Let's say 40 years, something like that.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
So this is like directly after Return of the Jedi. He crawls out of the solar pit. Spoilers for the first fucking 2 minutes of the show.
All right.
But it shows you how he gets
Patton
out.
Oswald, like he what was that, Parks and Recreation?
Well, he actually is one of the executive producers.
Yeah. So
So he actually wrote the skit.
yeah, his story in that is what happens in the
Yeah.
show.
Right.
So it's pretty good. But it
It's
is good.
funny.
It's enjoyable, but there's only
I mean, that was in the trailer.
Yeah.
6 or 8 episodes, I think, which is not that many because Mandalorian had 10, I think.
Mando
That's
had
fine.
10. Yeah.
That's fine.
But Mandalorian, yeah. But if you don't like Star Wars, then you probably won't like it.
No.
A lot of these shows too, I'm kind of cool with just the one season. Just do the one season, get the story out, and move on to the next one.
No, I want more Mandalorian.
It depends. Like since Mandalorian, since he wasn't in any other.
But what if
movies?
Mandalorian just sets up for like, so kind of like doing with Luke Cage, like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, then Defenders.
That would be okay. And these happening at the same time, I think. Mandalorian and Boba Fett. Yeah,
yeah,
'cause
but
Boba
the
Fett shows up
Defenders
then.
sucked. Then you got to say
It
that.
did.
It was
Yeah.
not.
It
But
was,
I'm saying,
it was
like,
a
in
fucking
that-
letdown.
Instead of stretching out Mandalorian into 100 seasons where you don't fucking need it,
It's so good. though.
it's
Yeah,
setting up
it's
like
good.
a story with
Yeah.
him and Boba Fett. or
Here's my
something.
view on Star Wars. Like, I like it. I watched it as a kid. I mean, it's not my favorite. It's not Lord of the Rings, but I do love.
Jesus.
Stop.
I'm gonna make that Kermit face.
I can feel the face you're making. But anyways, I love the Mandalorian. I love the Mandalorian more than I like the Star Wars films. That's just how I
The
am.
Mandalorian is very good.
Because Pedro Pascal, even with his mask or his helmet and gear on and stuff, plays such a good part. They
You're
bring
into the
some-
fucking Baby Yoda. Stop it.
No, Baby Yoda's cute.
There it is.
It is. Baby
Yeah.
Yoda's
Oh my
cute,
God,
but
Baby Yoda.
and he uses his little hand with the force.
Yeah, once you're like, I like
I
Baby
wish they would
Yoda.
have stomped that thing into oblivion second episode.
Now you're gonna watch it and be like, oh, Baby Yoda's pretty good. Like when they're
I never
fighting,
watched
and
it.
he's
I
just-
don't care.
They're fighting, trying to kill each other. I
He's
forget
like-
it's Mando and the girl,
Yeah.
and then Baby Yoda's just
Yeah, sipping his bone soup.
It's fucking
like
punk.
condescending.
It's not
Yeah.
for me. I don't know.
No,
I'll have to
it's
try it.
cute.
I'm not
cute.
really into Star
I don't think if you like Star Wars, you probably won't like it.
I've watched them all. I'll just
Yeah, but
Uh,
if you don't
I've
like
watched
it, like
some of them, and
I watched
really my
all
thing.
the 3. The originals were some of my favorites and were played a lot in my house. My dad liked them. And
I like
then
these originals. I hate the fucking
The prequel sucked.
yeah. I hated
The
those.
prequel
yeah,
sucked.
they weren't
Anakin's
good.
story. I hated it.
You know how I could tell it sucked because my mom liked Jar Jar Binks and nobody liked Jar Jar Binks.
I like the
Nobody.
I like the internet theory of Jar Jar Binks. Though,
I want him. Yeah, they were. They
where he was like
What
a
was
Darth
that?
Sith.
back as a Sith. in
Oh,
the
he
new
was a
one.
He was a Sith, and he was playing dumb, and he was actually mind controlling a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah,
That was a
Internet
fan.
theory.
What do they call
a
that?
fan theory.
Yeah, fanfic.
Yeah.
They should have did that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Dropped the ball there.
Anything? What do you got to plug?
I have 2 shows between what we were saying, but I do want to say I know this is the Betty White episode, but Bob Saget did pass away
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I kind of grew up on Bob Saget with America's Funniest Home Videos,
Mhm.
Full House, and then in my teenage years he had that March of the Penguins was good, so then he had the spoof of it, Farce of the Penguins, which was hilarious.
Did you know that Bob Saget made jokes, and every single joke he made reflects who he is as a character? Did you know that's a thing?
Really? So
Oh, yeah.
he was really that dirty and
Yeah,
gross
yeah. He
and-
was actually the
Mm.
P word, and he
Mm.
preyed on children and all that stuff. Yeah.
No,
Sorry, I can't. I just can't. I
Shut
love
up.
Bob
It's not.
Saget. So and I loved
No,
him.
it's
in
not that true, by the way.
I
It's
loved
not
him in
true.
I loved him in Entourage.
yeah,
I seen
it.
we've
I've seen
watched
his
that
video of this
episode.
guy on YouTube who literally just dissects videos and makes his own assumptions
no.
and has
I hate that.
thousands and thousands of people who follow him and believe every word he says. And he says, and this is before he died, he said that the reason the Olsen twins are no longer in show business is because he took all of the jokes they took from the Bob Saget roast and all the jokes they made, which all of the people were there except the Olsen twins, and all the jokes about him being inappropriate with the Olsen twins when they were young, which he never did, but all those jokes
That's funny.
he did. That's why he actually did those to the Olsen twins, and that's why they're not in show business. And then he
That's so
died, and the
dumb.
Olsen twins, who never talk
They literally
They-
dropped off the face of the earth.
because they don't
and
like show business, because they were
because-
forced
right,
into it as
they
children
were-
their
they
whole
were
lives.
Crazy. I remember when I was younger,
And,
like
and
they
make a lot of money,
hardcore,
like you said before. Go ahead. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
no, but like they were just like everything. They were flooded. So like if I was them, I would have did the same
But
thing.
they came
Like,
out and spoke to Hollywood for the first time
Yes.
forever and said Bob Saget
And
was a
that
fucking
guy's an
gem.
idiot. Who has more power? Bob Saget of the fucking Olsen twins.
Yeah,
Like,
but they pretty much even every single person on that cast came out and said that he was a fucking
Everyone,
class act
yeah.
dude. He was one of the nice people you ever work with, and it's a shame.
Even Candace Cameron, what's her name? Candace Cameron Burns, DJ.
Yeah.
Right.
She just played, or I read an article or something. She wore like a shirt that said something about Bob Saget, like hugs, or
Bob
like something
Saget
like that.
was
like-
the commissioner of Chikara, and he did one appearance.
Really?
Yeah, by video.
Nice.
Yes.
I have
Yeah.
to say, shout out Amber, Bob Saget. He's forever the best. Me and my girlfriend Amber, when it switched from Bob Saget to Tom Bergeron, I would always say, "Where's Bob Saget?" Or "Oh, Bob Saget." I would just say it was Bob Saget hosting AVF or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
I'm
yeah,
not
Yeah, American Funny
feline
Day.
so well. Yeah. Yeah. So listen,
He deserves all the money he got paid for that.
there's some
That's
jokes.
cringeworthy.
There's some fucking jokes that he did that obviously in today's time would not hold
No.
up, and there's some jokes that he did that were super inappropriate. But the one that everyone's talking about that he did, that was the entire premise of that show, is where you're supposed to
Right.
tell the most dirtiest joke you
Mhm.
can think of.
Right.
He did one. Gilbert Godfrey did one. A lot of comedians did that, but they're isolating that one he did and trying to say that's who he was as a person. And
Right.
he was literally, that was the premise of the show, was to tell your dirtiest and
Yeah.
raunchiest. Yeah, and make something up and it was a lot of it was just improv.
These people don't want comedy anymore.
Yeah.
no.
And listen, if some of that comedy triggers you, then sure, then stay away from it. You know what I mean? Like that's not for you.
Right. So I did want to say rest in peace, Bob Saget.
Sure, yeah, we
Yeah.
lost our TV dad and our
Yeah.
TV
And our TV
grandmother.
grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah,
Very sad.
So, but my two shows I've been watching, Peacemaker, I did watch all 3 episodes of that so far. I bit the bullet and bought HBO because between Peacemaker and the Sex and the City reboot,
Oh,
and then I haven't
yet.
watched that yet, but you were talking about Entourage.
Oh,
I was gonna rewatch that too. And what's the
they're
other
only
one?
half-hour
Oh,
shows.
Yeah,
Yeah, it goes
that's
quick.
it.
It goes
It goes fast, and before you know it, it's like, oh, another one. Oh, another.
I'm
one.
like in
Oh,
season
another
4 or
one.
5 already.
Are you?
They're going really quick.
So yeah, and then The Righteous Gemstones is the other one I wanted to
I've
get
never
back
heard
in
of
and watch
I
because
heard
we
people like that.
we
I have no
watched the
idea.
first season and it's hilarious. Danny McBride back and it's about this preacher family, but they're all very, very wealthy because they make money off of people coming to like a
You don't say.
Yeah.
church and yes, the big singing and dances,
Don't you
numbers,
stop
and-
giving.
and then like they're real raunchy and terrible
need to-
behind scenes. It's just funny.
Don't
Like
you stop tithing.
so, and I'm a big fan of Danny McBride too. I think he's hilarious. I loved him in Eastbound and Down.
I mean, I've loved him in every single thing he's
yeah,
ever done.
Danny McBride. He does some sort of like water bottle commercial or something on YouTube. I've seen him. I just bust out laughing every time. I'll leave it on just to laugh at him. So yeah. So
This Is Us is probably one of my favorite movies.
This Is Us.
Yeah. Or no, not This
Not
Is
This
Us.
Is Us.
This is the end.
This
This
Oh,
is the
yeah,
end. Oh
that's a
my
great
god.
movie.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
I'll fucking jerk off all over this fucking house. He goes, you're telling me you have iPods or iPads in your fucking wall, and I can't jerk off in this house?
Oh,
And
it's a good
isn't he
movie.
the one in the very end, and then he has Channing Tatum as the dog
Yeah,
or
Channing
something?
Like a
Tatum.
sex slave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sex
He goes,
slave.
Jen Tatum's my god. He's like my fucking sex slave.
Yeah.
Yeah. The end of
And I hate end of the world movies. Don't want to hear 1 second.
Oh,
about
it was a funny
so-
one though.
Hate it.
And then they all died.
the
They were
premise,
back.
I
just the
don't care.
premise
I don't care. I don't
is, well, I'm going to tell the audience. The premise is, if you've never seen it, is every single person in this movie plays themselves. So they are their actual celebrity selves. They go to a Hollywood party, and while they're all at this party, the end of the world happens.
care.
But because they're celebrities,
Yep.
none of them make it.
No.
So literally demons and the devil
Yeah.
himself has resurrected,
Yep.
and there's and it's just like it's a full apocalypse. But all these celebrities are like themselves
And
being.
it was Jay Baruchel, or how do you say his name?
I'm not sure.
Oh, Jay.
The first 5
He was
minutes,
in
every
Goon.
celebrity dies.
And then he was in the other the rom-com. What was it? Oh, not What's Your Number? It's the where she was a 10 and he was like
Out of
a
Your League?
5. Out of Your League. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
That was excellent. I think his name's Jay Baruchel.
that's it.
I can't say it right. Probably he's Canadian and I love him. He's funny, and it was Jay Baruchel. It was Danny McBride. It was
Jonah Hill,
Jonah Hill. What's the other two?
Franco.
Seth
Franco,
Rogen and
yeah.
Franco.
Emma Watson,
Emma Watson was
Yeah.
in it for a hot minute, I think.
This guy?
Right?
And Craig
Craig Robinson.
Craig Robinson.
I don't know that guy.
Let me see.
Baruchel?
Oh yeah, that's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't-
Craig
It
Robinson.
was hilarious.
Not familiar with him
Goon.
at all.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Backstreet Boys.
69, dog.
Yep, Backstreet
Take
Boys.
69.
Spoiler alert! Jesus.
It's how old?
I mean, yeah.
If
You should
haven't
have seen it.
Yeah, if you haven't seen This Is the End by now.
Heidi, what are your plugs?
Are you done, Kelly? Did you finish? You were talking about Peacemaker.
Oh,
Did anybody else watch Peacemaker
no.
yet?
No, not
Okay,
yet.
then I'll save it. I'll save it for when other people start to watch it.
Well,
well,
did
there's
you
still
like
more.
it?
There's still more that's coming out. They just released the first
Yeah.
3 episodes. It's gonna be weekly.
Oh, I loved it. It's raunchy as hell, though. I will say that it is really raunchy. I wasn't expecting it to be that raunchy. Like even like my husband walked out at one point because he didn't care for it.
I think they said James Gunn
So-
was doing the TV show too.
Yes,
Oh,
James
cool.
Gunn did. He wrote and directed. I
Yeah.
seen that, so it was really good. It gets really good by this third episode that I seen.
Yeah.
So, and I gotta give props to Cena.
He was good in the movie.
He's good. He's good. He's getting good. He'll be the next Rock here, wrestling actor breakout star.
I think he's leading into that thing where he's being the goofball, and I think
He's-
it works for him.
There's at one point there's a full nude scene with him, and I can't watch him in the nude.
You see his hammer?
Uh-oh.
You get close to it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm close.
You
Yeah.
get to see his. You can't
Well,
see
didn't
me.
he do that other
Yeah,
one with Amy Schumer?
Yeah.
Trainwreck.
Trainwreck. Yeah.
Where he was like,
Yeah, he
naked,
was
right?
banging her. Yeah.
And
So
the joke
there's-
was he has a huge one.
And it was a drug dealer in the one TFA movie. Which one? Sisters?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
Sisters.
I don't remember that one.
All right, Heidi, your plugs.
I haven't really done much of anything, but I started this new show called The Cleaning Lady. There's only 2, maybe there's a 3rd episode since I watched it, but it's really good. It's about this.
Oh, real quick, Betty White was on that show you used to be upset with, Ugly Betty. She showed up on
Oh,
Ugly
yeah.
Betty one time.
Ugly Betty.
America
Yeah.
Ferrara. or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
America Ferrera.
But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was like, appropriately named show.
See, I think she's pretty.
I think she's
Appropriately named
pretty.
show.
They made her
They
ugly
made
on the
her
show.
ugly in the show.
If you see her,
I've seen pictures of her out of the show.
Have you
I
seen
think
her
you're crazy.
now?
Appropriately named show.
she's
I think
she's
you're
beautiful.
crazy. I think she's very pretty.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, she's
Anyway,
Denise Richards.
she's a Canadian.
Denise Richards is hot to you or not hot?
Super hot. That's
Okay,
the joke.
well,
Well,
you
go
could
ahead.
be pretty, but not like super hot. Like that doesn't mean
This is-
if you're not Denise Richards,
I bet
then
if
it
you
doesn't
type
mean you're
Denise
ugly.
Richards into Google, it probably says super hot right now.
Yeah, but I'm saying just because you're not as
Wasn't
hot
she
as her
married-
doesn't mean you're ugly.
Wasn't she
It
married to
doesn't.
Stamos?
You
don't think
She
she's
was
pretty?
married to somebody.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
No, not at all.
That's,
Hey, I'm not
Let me
good looking
see
either,
now.
so I I can comment.
I think she's pretty.
I think
I
she's
don't-
pretty.
She grew up, I think. I think in
Um,
Ugly Betty they made her look
Oh, for sure. They
you
made
know.
her ugly. Like they gave her like bad glasses, braces. Like
and
She's a very
Yeah.
large mouth. I think that's where
Big
Andy's.
Mouth, good
yeah.
show on Netflix.
it's like a show.
that could be a good
Anyway.
thing or a bad thing.
But she
for
has
some
great
people.
teeth. She has nice.
Yeah.
She has nice teeth.
Anyway, this show is really good. It's about this Cambodian doctor who comes to America to get her son surgery that he needs, or maybe a transplant or something like that.
Get
and
fuck out.
then-
We can barely get surgeries. Get out of here, Cambodia.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Hate the show already.
Usually we have to go to Mexico for something.
Yeah,
ahead.
you want a nice butt, you go to somewhere else.
Yeah.
no,
yeah.
it's like a
You wanna trim
life-saving
down your fat,
surgery
yeah.
that obviously they are not doing in Cambodia.
Okay.
And she,
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
Mm.
And then something happens where it gets pushed off, and then she has to stay here for a while, but then her visa runs out, so she's like trying to stay and live and survive here until it can happen, but stay like under the radar. And then she gets like caught up with these, I don't know what they're doing, criminals, I guess you'd say. She basically witnesses a murder,
Mhm.
and they find her, and in order for her to not be killed, she's like, I can clean it up. Like, and then she basically
Oh.
becomes
She becomes the
the
cleaner.
on-call cleaner.
what was the guy in
basically.
Pulp Fiction they call cleanup?
The wolf.
Yeah, the
wolf,
wolf. He
yep.
comes in.
Yeah, yeah. It's good so far. Like I've
have
only
to
watched
watch
2
that again.
episodes, and it's really good.
And what is that on?
Fox, me?
Oh, okay. So
It's a regular TV show.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I like it a lot. So that's really the only thing I've watched lately. I'm done. That's
Tony.
it.
See, I thought the cleaning lady would be this female assassin.
No.
That during the day she's
That's
a cleaning
That's
lady.
not a smart
That's
shirt to put out.
Nah,
But she
I don't
no,
like that.
she's a cleaner, but it's good. Like I don't know. I think it's really good.
because I
It
always
kind of
get an idea in my head of the show,
Yeah.
what I think it is without knowing.
It's a girl who's a really big fan of Kenny Omega.
Yeah, the cleaner.
Yeah, the cleaner.
Anyway.
All I got to plug is the network, iwepnetwork.com, and go check out our other shows. We have shows like Not Cool in High School, Tornado Tag, which is every Thursday at 7 p.m., Bang and Beers Podcast, which is every Sunday at 12 p.m. Sometimes it changes. This Saturday, we'll be on location at the Little Brown Barrel in Minersville. Come over and hang out with us. We'll be there
Right on the main street, right?
this
yep.
Saturday
this Saturday.
or next Saturday?
This Saturday. Next Saturday, I'll be at a wrestling show.
Yep.
At Backbreakers Entertainment, we'll be at next Saturday.
I'm excited for that.
Next Tuesday is Truth Behind Illusion at 7 o'clock. So this show, it rotates every Tuesday. It's Not Cool in High School and Truth Behind Illusion. I don't know our topic. Do you know your topic?
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
haunted and cursed movie sets.
Yeah.
So, and
that's right.
I did invite
Ooh.
Nikolai to, if he feels better by then, or if he wants to join, he's more than welcome to join.
If his sickness doesn't kill him, he's
Yeah,
welcome to join
he's
us
welcome to
Tuesday for
join
a
us.
collaboration.
But yeah, we're going to talk about like the Wizard of Oz and some of the things that happened
Whoa.
around on the Wizard of Oz set.
I know lots of facts about
Crow?
that. I read this article.
You can come on. You can come on too if you want. I know you don't like to come on more than one, but you're.
I have work. But I read this whole article about
Crow.
it the one time.
Yeah, yeah.
Poltergeist?
So Poltergeist is my favorite.
The
That's
Exorcist too, right?
The Exorcist
Mhm.
also. The Exorcism of Emily Rose was another one that
Very
had.
convenient. It's mainly all horror movies.
Well, no, The Wizard of Oz isn't a
Wizard
horror
of Oz
movie.
isn't a horror
Passion
movie.
of the
Passion
Christ
of the
had some
Christ
weird stuff.
isn't. So we're going to
It's
be
not a
talking about
horror
all
movie.
these movies that have like a curse or haunted around
Yeah.
them. So that's my topic.
I'd be more apt to believe the ones that are not about horror movies because, of course.
Get your mind going.
Yeah.
I like how the mind is powerful enough to do supernatural shit, but not powerful
the
enough to get your
Poltergeist-
mind to fake that you're seeing.
Poltergeist had
Yeah.
a lot that people didn't see behind the scenes and stuff. I'm sorry. I do think there was something around that set there that so many bad things happened.
They use real dead bodies.
That's one of the things I was going to touch on. It was cheaper to use real dead bodies than it was
To make them.
to make them.
There was
So
something
that
else, some
scene
other
where
movie
she's-
that did that too.
Yeah.
I think.
when that scene when she's in the pool they were
Eventually,
digging in,
everyone from
that was
that
all
movie has
real.
died.
Oh, shocker!
Everyone has died already.
Well, no, Coach is still alive. I don't know his name either. The guy that played
That's kind of like
Coach.
they're like.
Yeah.
And then
I don't
8
know his
years
name.
after
He
the
became an
movie, they
alcoholic after that
died.
movie, though.
Well,
So, yeah.
There's a little teaser of what Truth
And
Behind Illusion is. It's just me shitting on the paranormal.
Yeah.
Did you see the
Meanwhile,
post?
I'm trying to like be
it's-
normal.
some is believable, some is a stretch.
Did you see the thing I
Some is
posted?
fun.
In,
The aliens,
No, the one I posted where it said,
the little girl.
"Your horoscope says you're gonna eat today."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and meanwhile, for you two, you need to look at Virgo because Virgo is your rising sign, and you need to look at a Gemini because Gemini
Well, listen,
is your rising
I have
sign.
one more week to come into some money because that's what I was told. I'm going to be comfortably in my money
Yeah.
situation.
You'll be more stable.
Now, what does that
So
mean?
what you were telling me before the show?
Yeah.
It's a part-time.
What
job,
does
though.
it mean?
It
though?
doesn't matter. It's something. It's
Yeah.
something.
To look at the sign, what does that mean?
Well, when you're
Stare
looking
into
at
the
your
sun.
Like to talk to someone who is a Gemini, or I'm
No,
not
when
trying
you're
to be
look- when-
smart.
when
or
you're
anything.
looking at your zodiac signs or your horoscopes. So instead of you actually might want to look at both your Taurus because you've got a stellium Taurus, and I've never seen that before. Never seen you have two
I'm
Oh,
special.
stelliums.
you're fucking. You're
Yeah,
special.
you're
alright.
you're special. I'm gonna be using your stuff for class, so sorry, but
That's all
sorry,
right.
not sorry. But you kind of have a special chart.
You're
You want to
fucking
look.
weird.
Mhm.
You want to. It tells me how bully you are. I swore you had like a Scorpio moon or a Scorpio rising. Just the way he stings everything. No, I'm not watching The Proposal. No, it's no. It's
I'm
'cause
not
he's fucking
No one told you
stubborn.
to.
That's why he has
good because I ain't watching.
he is he has four planets in the sign of Taurus, which is like, whoa, that's sorry, but you're super stubborn.
Some extra Taurusy.
Yeah. Or you're
but-
extra bully.
Extra bully. So you want to combine both your Gemini, and that makes sense how you can say everybody's names right and stuff, because Gemini is the like communication planet
Oh,
There you go.
about
that you can pick it up real easy.
mm-hmm.
You probably could pick up a different language real easy too.
Do you know Japanese? A little bit. You know
What
more
do
than
you
I
do?
do.
Watashi was. What was it? Is Watashi wa Sakoshi na Hango ga haramasu.
Yeah, Dorio
See,
Mogato,
you can-
Mr. Roboto.
Yeah.
I can speak a little Japanese.
Domo. That's all I know is Domo's. Thank you. Domo.
Ichi ni sanchi.
Fucking Dragon
See?
Ball Z.
Okay.
There it is.
But he could pick stuff up that easy.
Yeah.
So
General Saus.
Accents.
That's impressive,
impressions.
right?
Huh?
No, because you still didn't
General
say it right.
Saus. That's fucking impressive. You hear that? It's Chinese for you.
I don't think you're saying it right.
Yeah, I don't think you are either. Let's wrap it
I
up.
call
is
it General-
General Sal. It's General
it's not
Souls,
Sal.
isn't it?
I call it General Toes just to piss her off.
So
Oh, see, we're all fucking wrong.
There it is.
See,
it's
Gemini
tsunami.
Gemini
Tsunami.
rising right there. That's the epitome of it.
Oh my.
That was
Let's wrap this up before we get canceled.
no, we're doing an impression of George Takei because he would overcorrect
know.
everyone's
His
their
pronunciation
pronunciation.
is very.
Well, you are the same way. You're
Oh my.
correcting every.
I
I'm
love it. I
trying to
miss
help
George
you out with
Takei.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my. I would go down to the bathhouse.
The Brahmin.
The Brambles. All right, yeah. Check out the network.
Check out
IWP
Truth Behind
Network.
the Illusion.
There's a
Tuesday.
brand new Interviews with Everyday People. Please go support that. It's been doing really well. If you're watching this, share.
Mhm.
Hit the share button. Like, share, subscribe.
Comment.
comments.
Sam said something.
Recommend
He
to
said,
a friend.
us.
Craig T. Nelson, that's coach, baby.
Yeah,
Craig Tino, thanks, Sam.
he'll be dead in
Yeah.
a week, and it's because he was on
Oh
Poltergeist.
my God. Sam or coach?
Yeah, no, coach. And it's
Jesus
and
Christ,
it's
don't do that to me. I've had enough drama. I
it's,
don't need
it's
that.
because he was on Poltergeist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
He was
I
on a lot.
mean, he became a severe alcoholic after the movie.
See,
Coach.
After the second movie.
Coach is a spinoff of Nerd Show, I think.
Oh yeah, it's from Cheers.
cheers. No,
Oh, not
Was it?
Cheers. Not Cheers.
Not Cheers.
coach. Fuck out of here.
Well, I'm agreeing with her, so you yell at me just as much as you yell at her.
Anyway, yeah, if you made it this far, check us out on all social media. Hit
It
the
was
links.
spin-off of
We'll have
something.
to look it up.
Hit the
after,
links below
here.
to go follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all those different things. We do have merchandise. Go check out the merchandise. Go buy some cool merch. And if you made it this far, also check the links below. If you have a buck or two, go down to the Hillside SPCA for Betty White
Yeah.
and her birthday. You don't have to give it to us unless you want to, unless you have the ball. Or
Unless
you
you
can do
got a
both.
couple bucks and you want to throw some their way and our way.
Hey, listen,
Right.
my horoscope says I'm going to be financially balling by Tuesday.
Financial,
So
more stable than what you are, not balling. I didn't say it was the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah,
You
I'd like to be a little
pulled-
more stable.
you-
Fucking
you-
Chronos.
You didn't pull the Wheel of Fortune. You pulled the Nine of Pentacles. Go on.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
Anyway.
the Patreon has done better since last episode, so there's always that. I'm just not going to feed you because you're gonna be like, I told you the universe.
told you were going to eat macaroni and cheese, and then you did.
Oh, and you're a bull.
Here's two.
You did.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up,
Yes,
Dave
please.
Chappelle.
We'll-
We'll see you guys next time. Not
I
cool in
love
high
yous,
school.
but Jesus.
We love you to death. Here's some cool music by Michael Band.
Bye.
Bye.